Christmas is good, but only when I come to your house and you've been good. Christmas comes to everyone in every neighborhood. Oh yeah, Christmas in fact. To see Christmas lying on its back. Get back to work, bitch, with me on top. And don't you ever pull the lever that says stop. Santa cooked your Christmas in his hobbit hole. But why is it so cold? Santa cooked your Christmas in his hobbit hole. But why is it so cold? Santa cooked your Christmas in his hobbit hole. But why is it so cold? Santa cooked your Christmas in his hobbit hole. But why is it so cold?
Oh, sweet Jesus on a pogo stick, we're back. You didn't expect that, me and Santa, me and Blitzen, me and Rudolph. We're having a goddamn champagne jamboree. It's a Yuletide celebration. Get over here, Rudolph. Shut the fuck up, Blitzen. Get in the hot tub. Fuck, get that fridge tickler out. It's goddamn Tuesday night. You know what that means? Oh, it's interspecies breeding. No, you didn't expect that? Well, expect it at Helltown. I'm gonna ride this fucking reindeer. I'm gonna pull on its antlers. It's not gonna like it. I'm not a sensitive lover. I'm an angry man. I'm an angry man. Woo, the nature boy's here. I'm gonna put my finger in your pee hole and call you my bowling ball. Expect excellence. Get greatness. Woo, we're back. Helltown Radio.
Yeah.
Okay, that one was good. I'm gonna use that. Put my finger in your pee hole. Use you like a bowling ball. Yeah, that's nice.
Introduce your fine selves for the last show of the goddamn year. I'm George. I'm over here. You can't see me.
Hi, I'm Lita. I'm right over here, and I do art stuff sometimes. So that's all I'm gonna add.
That's it for right
That's
now?
it for right now,
man.
yeah.
All right, cool. My name is Chris. I do funny stuff. I do serious stuff. Do Helltown stuff. I don't know. I do a lot of stuff, I think. I think sometimes more credit than I give myself for when I'm beating myself up during my weird manic swings. But I got a little dark there. Sorry. But today, we're going to be doing some fun. I don't even know. I mean, like I said, I was telling Joe before. Joe is the least briefed person I think that I've brought on, and I think so definitely by proxy you two, unless you guys secretly know Joe. No. But yeah, we're bringing on Joe from Marigold Gallery in the Kid Lane. That's the name of the spot, yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. That I got right. That part of my homework I got right. He's a photographer. He's a musician. He is the owner of several fine denim jackets. That's actually, I think, that's how we met on the street that one time. You rolled up. You had a bitchin' ass. It was a denim jacket. It was from a rock festival.
Yeah, Desert Trip.
Yes, the Desert Trip. And he walked up, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool jacket. It just looked cool." And he was like, "Well," he explained to me the story behind it, and it was really awesome. We'll get to that in a few moments here. But yeah, Joe, you want to introduce yourself? Give us your government name, your
social,
social security number, credit card numbers,
address,
yeah, especially. No, you don't have to do any of that stuff.
Well, it starts with a 2 and ends with an 8.
Oh, dude, there's some autistic person sitting around right now being like, "Got it."
Yeah.
So I know you as Papa Joe. What would people know you by professionally?
Mostly Joe.
Joe.
Joseph D. Gillette officially.
All right.
And Hey Papa Joe on Instagram.
All right. Hey Papa Joe on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
I have a son, very creative,
right.
named Joseph. Imagine that. And he's like the 5th one in a row. Different middle names, but so one of the wild high school kids, Karen, was staying at the house for like a year because she got kicked out of her house, and she started calling me Papa Joe because my son was Baby Joe.
Who's Karen?
She was this free spirit that lived with us like 10 years ago or so. Yeah, finishing up high school, wants to kill her mom, so she moved in with us and went to Gillette boot camp. So that's where.
What happens at Gillette boot camp?
Well,
you get freshly shaved.
Yeah. No razors.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I like that.
Any relation to Penn Gillette?
No.
Do you know who Penn Gillette is?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
potato chip enthusiast.
Right.
Also one of the greatest illusionists and mentalists in the game. Penn Jillette, if you're watching this, we'd like to have you on the show next year, sir.
He's like, bullshit.
Have you seen his show, Bullshit? He has a show. It's Gillette. It's Penn and Teller's Bullshit. I have it all on DVD. It's such a great show, man. It's a show where basically they take things that we take as truths because they've just been presented as such as a surface level, and then they deep dive on it. So like PETA, they shredded. They were like the first people to really out PETA.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They really outed PETA, like the recycling scam in California.
Yep.
Yeah, they were big on that. I mean, just like a lot of stuff. And I mean, it just goes farther and farther. It's like stuff that we always think, like, as you know, our silly westernly guilted minds feel like that we should be doing sometimes aren't always the right thing.
I think you can see all of them now on Max.
On Max, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a it's a cool ass program, but some cool ass program stuff. So I mean, like, so I know you're a photographer. I know you're a musician.
Yes.
Where are you from originally?
Born in D.C.
Were you born in D.C.?
I sure was.
What hospital?
George Washington Hospital.
Oh yeah, George Washington. So yeah, so he was from the nice rich white side of it. I was born in D.C.
Were you?
I was born in Greater Southeast Hospital in Anacostia.
Oh, nice. You know, the hood.
Back when the river was full of condoms.
1980, the infant unit that day looked like a cup of coffee with a drop of cream right in the middle.
Nice.
And like, needless to say, it would have been a very terrific endeavor to have switched me at birth.
Yeah.
Dude, that was back when it was Chocolate City. They probably was like, "What is you doing here?"
Oh yeah.
Man, you know it's funny. Everybody always had that romantic fantasy about being switched at birth. It would have worked out with me. My parents have been like, "Yeah, we figured out that we switched you at birth on accident." This is Shaquan, our actual son, and then they'd be like, "This is your father," and it would be like Rayful Edmond. I did that joke in DC last week. Actually, this whole bit I just ran was a bit I did, and I was in DC. It was the first time I did a show in DC, and I got there, and I was like, I was expecting it to be a very darker crowd, and I got there, I was like, man, Chocolate City. It's looking more like Mocha Latte with 2 Pump City right now.
Dude. Yeah, like even like Union Market is gentrified now.
No, the entirety of it is. It's so expensive to live there. It just is what it is, and just by proxy. But it still has a little bit. It's not a flat white yet.
No, there's still pockets of awesome. Like I remember me and her went to some. They probably built a skyscraper now, but it was like an empty like middle school or some shit when we went to go see Flex Matthews and all those other bands. But that's the type of DC I remember. I remember like when I used to go to DC, my parents would be like, "Yes, those people are homeless. Don't talk to them. Yes, that smell is urine." They would give me a rundown of things that I would ask questions about loudly in public.
Like, and then they'd answer it.
Yeah. Like right before we got out of the car, I think it was the Air and Space Museum. My dad, I remember him turning over the seat and looking at us. He's like, "Yes, those people sleeping on the grates are homeless. Yes, that smell is urine. Don't talk to anybody until we get inside the building." And then he took our hands and walked real fast upstairs.
No, so you were born in DC. Were you raised in DC as well, or?
Nope, born in DC. The next day, swept me back across the river to Arlington, and then I think I spent the first year in Arlington or Falls Church, then Springfield, Virginia, and get this, the house was. I just found the brochure for the house yesterday, going through my folk stuff. It was called the Virginian. It was like a brick. Rambler ranch house off of Etzel Road. No AC. I remember that. Sweating your ass off in the summertime. Yeah, it's like just laying there. And then when I was 5, I guess, I was raised Catholic, so I ended up at a Catholic school, beaten by nuns.
Which one?
All of them.
Was one of them St. Joseph? Because I was there.
Oh yeah. It was in Annandale, Virginia, St. Michael's, and there was a Sister Joseph, and she was the meanest one. Yeah, they all had men's name. The only thing you saw was their eyebrows. There was no hair. It was just kind of like, what is going on?
This is wild because you know what? There are some the similarities. So I was born in Anacostia. I was whisked away over the river. But in the opposite end, my parents lived in Oxon Hill, Maryland. We were there for a couple years, and then we ended up in Springfield as well. And then I ended up in parochial schooling. So that is fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. I'm the lone non-Catholic in the room for once.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Fucking heathen.
I'm just a Catholic in that I don't use
Egg.
rubbers.
Right.
Agnostic.
Yeah, right.
Egg.
A baggie and a rubber band. What?
MacGyver over here.
Yeah.
Ziploc.
All right, so you were so you went to school in Annandale, and what about for high school and
Well, it seemed like, the first 5 years beaten by nuns, went to, parochial school, good education, grades weren't great. I saw that too, and I found my grades. I'm like 78. That's not particularly good, but okay. But then in 5th grade, I went to public school, and it was just like, this is a joke. I'm like, I'm already at the 9th grade level here, and what's going on here?
Is that a thing with Catholic school? Is it like
Yeah.
really accelerated?
Yeah, I was in honor classes, like honor English, honor biology. I was in chemistry, the highest chemistry, and I took trig.
God
And
damn.
there's nobody in
Didn't you say once you got to like Prince William County schools, you were like, this is fucking.
yes, it was boring. Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this is craziness.
Yeah.
But going from Catholic school to public in Alexandria, and then Front Royal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or Manassas rather, and then Front Royal. So yeah, it's just
Yeah. So when I was 10, we moved from Springfield to Dale City, a planned community. And at the time, we lived in Ashdale, the first section. They were all alphabetically: Birchdale, Cloverdale,
Yeah.
Darby-dale, Forestdale, Glendale, and I forget. But when I moved there, or when we moved there as a family, there was like 109 houses. And when I left 20 years later, there was 109 traffic lights. It was like, whoa.
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, okay, so much for plan, but, interesting being in suburbia. Of course, since then I prefer being in the city or out in the country. I did the suburban thing, when you roll up to the wrong townhouse and walk in and a family's eating dinner and you're like, oops, wrong house.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It's even worse in like places like Ashburn now. Like my kid lives out there, and it's like every other house looks exactly the same except for like the few things they have in their lawn. Like,
oh yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, I watched Edward Scissorhands last night, and that's exactly how I felt. I was like, dude, this is like, cruising in like, Sterling or Ashburn, which is wild because back in the day when we grew up, Sterling, Ashburn were like kind of like if you were in Fairfax County, you'd joke about like kind of people that are a little more like rough around the edges, if you will, and be like, yeah, they must be from Sterling, or they must be from Ashburn. Now it's like, oh, there goes old Buffy and Brad on the way to the country club. They must be from Sterling or Ashburn.
we definitely used to cut up on Manassas Park, but then I went to like varsity at fucking Fair Oaks, and they were like, "You're from Manassas," and then like I was like, "Oh, I guess Manassas as a whole sucks."
Manasshole.
Yeah, Manasty.
An asshole.
yeah, they don't differentiate between
Yeah.
city or park. They're like, you're all trash.
Yeah, the whole city's the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
So, Dale City back in the day, how bad was it? Because now like Dale City's like anything close to 95 is like.
Oh, at the time it was great because it was mostly Ashdale was sandwiched between. Well, there was no shopping center. You had to go to Woodbridge to buy groceries and stuff. But I remember, as a 14-year-old, we had the woods behind when they finally did build a shopping center. We would hang out in the woods Friday night. That was it, Hey, save up your wine and beer. We're going to get it on. And, yeah. I remember the first time I got drunk, me and my buddy were like, I think if we steal some of my dad's whiskey and some wine and some beer and put it all in one jar, we'll probably get really drunk if you add up all the percentages of the alcohol. So we did. As 14-year-olds, we went in the woods and then drank this concoction that had been sitting in the bottle for a week. And my buddy
Aging.
just vomited it for like 3 hours straight. But I was like, man, it's cold out and I feel so warm. This is kind of cool. Yeah. So we got in a lot of trouble and not in trouble. The big, it turns out the goal was have as much fun as you can without going to jail.
That's my daily goal, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
When you used to be able to do that. Now it's like, did you walk across the street not bow-legged?
Yeah.
Jail.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that I'll say this about that. I think that is something that is provincial to certain areas like Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Arlington County, the Fauquier County, Prince William. But man, I'm gonna give a big shout out for Warren County law enforcement. Warren County law enforcement. First of all, the head of it. Well, Cale just left. Cale McGillis. Shout out to Cale. He just finished his tenure as the police chief. Cale single-handedly changed my mind about law enforcement. I had some terrible experiences with Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Arlington County.
Fuck Fairfax County.
Yeah, they're stormtroopers. I moved out of Fairfax County because of an encounter I had with law enforcement. I kid you not. Had this terrible encounter. It was completely illegal on their end, so illegal such that I contacted my lawyer immediately that night, it was like middle of the night, and he was just like, "Look, dude, just what happened to you right now is we could sue." And I was like, I'm not even gonna tell the story on air right now because I don't even want to get into it because it's gonna take up too much time the whole night. But law enforcement, Warren County, to say the least, I feel they're a lot more fair. I don't feel that they're out on a quota thing. Like they're not out to make money. Like because our infrastructure is much more streamlined, if you will, more rudimentary, if you will. They don't have to go out and make the money to support having all the bells and whistles that these other counties have. So I shout out to Warren County. Also shout out Officer Duval. Officer Duval, if you're watching, what's up, Shouty? That's my homegirl. Caleb, if you're watching, what's up, dog?
I will say in town, I don't you see a lot of police, but it's in the times and the places you think they're gonna be, i.e., right outside the Naughty Pine,
of course.
And then driving up and down Main Street, when people are probably gonna drive drunk.
No, I don't know, man. I think that they don't target so much. They don't target so much on Main Street. Okay, I think
no, they don't target, but they definitely make their presence known.
But it's not too. It's like
they're not like
they wave and smile. They come talk to us and shit.
They just drive down the street. It's just like I think that's more of a safety thing. If you see a policeman drive down the street like once an hour, it does deter people that are trying to look in cars and steal shit. If anything,
yeah.
And it would deter people from driving drunk. I mean, it's a passive thing. I'd rather have a lot of passive things from the police rather than being like, I gotta yank somebody out of the car and beat them to death. Like Northern Virginia.
I think with the Winchester cops too, to a certain extent, it's one of those things too. It's like if you have never been in trouble, then you're pretty much not going to get in trouble. But if you've gotten in, you're in. And the unfortunate thing is that just there's a certain type of person that gets in trouble as an adult continually that kind of brings it on themselves a little bit. And take it from a reformed person of that nature. I will tell you that in my experience that's been like that, but also I think there's the cops out here are all right. I don't think that they do as much profiling. They think they do as much quota filling. And they have
well, I also think this town is very small, so because of the size of it,
sure.
The problem areas, i.e. the crackhead BP, where you can see a person skitter.
You know about the crackhead BP?
No, I know the corner there.
Okay,
sure.
then you know what we're talking. Yeah. You've solidified that you understand.
Yeah.
Any time of day, you'll see some rapid, weird movement from somebody out of there. One time, I rolled by and there was a guy laying outside, out of the door. This is the end of the building, and he would just I'm saying it was 4:30 in the goddamn morning, and I'm getting gas, and he scared the shit out of me. I damn near pissed myself. I'm not even joking. I thought I was gonna have a loose bladder.
How do we get here again?
I'm used to screaming.
I think we're talking about have as much fun as you can without going to jail.
Well, there it is. So that was what you did as a kid. So we got to bring it back to because there are so many questions that I got about adult Joe because I think that it sounds like the kid Joe led a pretty straight one, but no. All right. So what was kid Joe like?
Well, back to Ashdale Plaza. This was the Saturday night vamp that we did. 2 a.m. the bakery trucks would show up with everybody's birthday cakes and donuts and all the pastries and pies for the whole week, and they'd unload them and then drive away. Of course, the 14-year-old kids up on the hill are scoping it out, and as soon as they're gone, we'd run down there. We called it raiding the giant. We'd run down there, down the hill, and grab whatever pies, cakes. Hey, happy birthday, Bobby. Sorry, bud. And then run back up in the woods and, try to eat them while we were giggling. And, I remember this one guy, Terry Donovan, who later became a priest, ironically. He had this like triple.
Oh, Father Donovan.
Yeah, he had this triple layered chocolate cake, and I'm going, give me a bite. And he's like, no. And he's running away from me. Well, it's dark out. He trips over a root and face plants right into the cake. I'm like, there you go. Karma, bitch. But so after a few more weekends of that, now the cops are hiding in the bushes too. And we go down there and raid the giant. We're up on top of the hill with trays of donuts, and the cops are chasing us. And now we're like, hey, we got ammo. So now we're throwing powdered donuts at the cops.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, pelting them, Yeah. So
Dude.
I've done that for sure.
Dude, that must have been conflicting for them, because back in the day, that's prime donut years for pigs.
Yeah. Right, for sure.
Yeah, they don't do no donuts no more, man. You see some of these boys these days, it looks like fucking WWF line.
Oh yeah, they're on gear. There's lots of fucking like cops that are definitely like, yo, that dude's got a neck as big as my waist, and I got a big ass waist. Like, I've definitely been at like police things with my brother, because my brother's a Prince William County detective. But when he was a regular cop, he definitely had friends. Some of them, they just look like normal like people, and some of them it was like, god damn, dude, where'd this dude come from?
Man, yeah, like, oh man, like, yeah, fucking the Officer Seuss in town, man. Dr. Seuss,
that big motherfucker.
Well, there's a few of them, but man, but you know what? He's cool shit. That motherfucker, he's got a motorcycle collection that's like that, dude. He's
I know there's some cop in town that every woman that I know has called the hot cop.
That's him. That's him. That's it.
Look at
Exactly what you're talking about.
Leaves like the cokes in my underwear. He's like, there's
Hold
no
on,
coke
you
here.
want to search me?
He's like, hey, there's no coke down here. Gotcha.
Just kidding.
Oh man, TSA, police. Oh man, all right. So you're throwing donuts at cops. You're eating stolen cakes. You're watching Father Donovan eat shit.
Yeah.
So so you're a musician as well too, right? Well, you're a photographer. When did you get into photography? Was that a lifelong thing? Is that a relatively new thing?
Some ways it was. I remember I had a baby book as a little kid, and it was like the first photo I ever had published was in the baby book, and I think I was 4 years old, and I remember I got a timeout for being a hooligan, so I'm sitting out on the carport. And of course, I'm supposed to be sitting in the chair for 30 minutes, and I snuck out, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's the camera in the car." So I got it out, and like took a picture of the car and the boat, all crooked, and went, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble now." So I put the camera back, but I just knew whenever that film got developed, I was gonna be busted and be in trouble again, because that was sort of my MO. Well, instead, I got published in my baby book. It's like, oh, little Joey's first picture. So I was like, oh. So, I think that's where this love for photography started. Plus, I was born in 1957. There was no color TV till I was like 8 or 9 years old. So, black and white was the thing for me.
So did colored film come out first, or colored?
Well, there was color film too, for sure, but it was mostly slide film and things like that. But I wasn't aware of any of that as a kid.
Did you take like a graphic arts class or anything like that, like in school? Because I know that for me, that's when I first like started to get in photography. They let us like develop film and all that.
Yeah, well, I actually did when I got out, graduated from high school. I went to I was too much of a fuck up to get into a 4-year school, so I went to the community college and started taking art classes. And I'm like, this is like an extension of high school. I don't know about this, but I took a few classes, and drawing, and it's like hand cramps, and it's like, oh, everything I drew was to scale and kind of look like real life. So, and then I took a photography class. I'm like, oh, this is a lot easier. You got like 36 thumbnails just taking the pictures, and I never looked back after that. But I did have a career as a graphic artist and graphic designer. So and I started playing music as a 17-year-old. Took like a year playing guitar, to where your hands didn't hurt. And then you're jamming with people in the same woods back there. The smoke set, there was a log back there, and we called it the smoke set. Yeah. We did a lot of experimenting back there. We would play like dirt bike tag, where you had to run into each other. Tag, you're it, motherfucker. And then
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was back when men were men.
Yeah.
I mean, we had like
no, but that's a true thing, man. It was like, think about it, man. Could you imagine right now if you talk to any kid and they said that, the meltdown that would happen, all around, like, oh my god,
I guess
we're the negligent parents. What's going on?
Our generation had stuff like I remember having BB gun fights in the woods. Like the motherfucker that had the pellet pump was an asshole because he would pump that shit up like 5 times and then shoot you right through your pants and shit. BBs at least was, as long as you hit somebody in the face with a BB, like, wear long sleeves, stop being a bitch. Like, you know what you're doing.
The second time I could ever remember getting into trouble in my life, and was exactly. That's how weird my memory is. The second time I can remember getting in trouble in my life was when one of my best friends in the world, rest in peace, my man Mike Repole. We used to go to his house, and he was like, so we were like 8 and 9 years old, and his brothers were like 12 and 14 years old. And it was a stepbrother situation too. So like, but everybody was everybody was like homies and not really kind of brothers, but kind of homies. And they had these motherfuckers. They were the brothers that we bought all of our like original porn, fireworks, and pot from. And so these were like, we would have BB gun wars there, but they were smart. And the pellet size of those pellet guns were the same size of a bird pellets that you would feed there. And they had pet parrot or parakeet or whatever. So we would shoot each other with those pellets, so we wouldn't get hurt, right? Yeah. Or we wouldn't get hurt. We were getting fucked up, but whatever. And we would have these BB gun wars, and like, so man, I'll never forget Mike Reed. And I don't even know how this flashback just came up. I'll never forget getting in deep shit because Mike pulls up to my house with the BB gun slung on his back, and he's like, "Hey, can Chris come over and play?" And my mom's like, "What the fuck is that on your back?" And he's like, "It's a pellet gun." And he like straight up was like, "Yeah, it's a pellet gun." And my mom's like, "No." And like, and then she's like, "Is that what you guys do over there? You shoot guns?" And I'm like, "No." And then she was like, "Yeah, right." But so we always had to lie about going over there or whatever. But it was, dude, yeah. But we'd have some sick ass like BB gun wars and shit. Yeah. It was like, and we'd be like. It was just fun, man. Yeah, but that was back like,
and played a game that like you can't even play anymore because you can't say it.
What, Smear the Queer?
Oh yeah, Smear the Queer, dude. Like,
no, you can still do that shit, man.
They just call it something else because you can't be at like football practice like we're gonna run Smear the Queer.
The smart gay kids are still calling it Smear the Queer. All right. It works out to their advantage. You get a bunch of closeted dudes fucking dry humping you in a pile. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, when you become an adult, you have to pay for that shit. Get it while it's free, gay kids.
I've heard that term like 3 or 4 times, and I still don't know the concept.
Basically, whoever has the ball,
it was like tag,
gets tackled.
Yeah, tag, but you got the shit kicked out of you in the process.
Kill them.
So like,
it's like
one person versus everyone else.
It's like the billiards of rugby. Like, there's no goal. You just have to bounce off some shit. Like, it was, yeah, man.
You have to be brave to grab the ball because you know you're gonna get fucking
Smear the Queer,
dodge, tackled, or try to fucking juke people out. But eventually, like, it's gonna be like 5 people.
King of the Hill.
Yeah, that was not that bad.
What, dude? All right, listen. So where we grew up, and Mike Repole involved in this one too. Man, we would play King of the Hill, but there would be these construction sites going all around because we lived in Reston during the development of Reston.
Yeah,
and so man, that shit was like fucking 300. Man, people were getting fucking kicked in the face. People were getting thrown down hills. Man, and it's the thing again. I think like a few like just like how did we, number one, not break? Like nothing ever like got. I can't remember a single
Hey, and you
time
wouldn't
where
get in trouble when you got in a fight. She told me this savage story about what she did to some bitch that was trying to fuck with her one time.
Oh, yeah. So I lived in the ghetto in Alexandria, like the actual projects. And I was walking. I went to George Washington High at the time, or middle school now. And I was on my way to school, and I had change for lunch. I just had like this bag of change, and some bitch tried to like roll up on me and take my fucking lunch money. So I just like went like this with my change and pelted her with it, like just boom.
You homie socked the bitch.
Yeah, and like the bag busted open, and like there's like coins all over the place, and I fucking ran.
It was like
because I knew if she was gonna
Sonic
like
the
get me,
Hedgehog.
she was gonna beat the shit out of me. But I got her good right in the side of the fucking dome before I ran.
Lita, like, so wait, I gotta ask a question because like we're gonna get back to Joe in a minute because we haven't even gotten into the meat of things here. But like Lita, as a kid, I'm fascinated. Like, so I watched. There's this meme I saw today, and it was like me watching Jason Voorhees slam a girl in a body bag against a tree as a kid, and it's like two little kids like. And, and it made me think of you. So aside from being in front of a television, what were things that you were doing that were mischievous when you were a kid? Like, what was the thing like between 10 and 12? So that wasn't like before finger bang and pot smoke. Like before.
I honestly,
what was
I
your,
used
like,
to
weird...
steal chemicals from the chemistry department. At school.
Yeah. You trying to like make your own acid lab?
Like,
what are you doing?
No. This is when I was younger. I just did it because I was like, ooh, chemicals, and then I would go home and like have my little, my own little science experiments. And then, of course, as I got older, I knew the chemicals that you would need for stuff like that. So I had a friend who would make his own stuff in high school. So I would just grab something and then, bring it to him, and that's that.
Drags.
Like it just, that was like the worst that I did. Also, I would get like grown ass adults to buy me 40s on the way to the gas station to pay for their gas. So I'd be like, hey, if I give you 20,
shoulder tapping.
Yeah, can you get me a 40 and you can keep the change?
Yeah,
and they always said yes.
Dude, that's so like shoulder tapping now.
Too many cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now, but like back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day it was tight, man. You just find some dude to be. We would always find the dudes who were like 19 or like 19 to 23 that were living with their parents or like our older brothers, friends, or like friends of older brothers, or however that worked, and that couldn't get pot anymore because everybody was at school or like had become adults and not did that anymore. And so then they'd have to resort to getting it from like the teenagers. So we'd be like, all right, bet we got you on the weed, but you got to get us on the drinks. And it was like, I always felt that was kind of like how we did. But shoulder tapping also was a last resort thing. And it was hard though for me because you have to realize that I had a secondary puberty when I was like 22. Like I was little. I was like little until I was like 22 years old. And like, so I looked like I was 14 when I was 21 years old.
Oh, dude.
And so like, it was always hard because it was a hard sell to go. Like we'd have to send our friends that had like, they looked like George when they were 14 to go and like, yeah, they had the nice scruff built in and shit to go do that. But yeah, so I think my thing, it was a terrible thing. Like, but me and my homie, Eric, who was one of my best friends, we were church youth group associates. He was actually, at one point I was the president, he was the vice president of our youth group, but we would go and shoplifting was our thing. Like, and it was like the stupidest thing, but we were like, I look back on it and I was like, God, we were fucking good. Like, we would steal so much shit. Like, we would go to, do you remember, what was the CD place? The Kemp Mill. Remember Kemp Mill Records?
I remember that place.
Kemp Mill Records, dude. We figured out how to pop off the magnetic, big holder things, and dude, we were smooth, man. We were actually very slick. I'll tell you, this is a story that I probably shouldn't. Well, I can't say because statute of limitations, but I don't want to take away from my character or person I don't steal anymore. But I was at a toy store at the Reston Town Center, and I saw this. This like turtle thing I wanted to turn into a bowl. So I was like, if for some reason I just didn't want to buy it, so I was like, I'm gonna steal it. And I had a big puffy coat on. and I put it into my pocket and blah, blah. And I was walking out of the store, and the sales associate was like, "Hey, man, I need to talk to you." And I'm like, "What for?" And he's like, "We need to go talk in the back. I think you know what about." And I'm like, "Whatever, mister." And I had already calculated in my brain what to do. Like now isn't a known I would freak the fuck out if I tried to do some shit like this. So I walked back and I was like, why don't you lead the way? So he does, and I just like put my hands in my pocket, grabbed the shit, and threw it on a shelf like real quick. And we got back and he searched us and then searched me, and I was like, didn't have it. I was like, "I'll accept your apology now, sir." And you know what I did? I went and picked it up off the shelf and bought it. That's a true story. All right, so Joe, now that I've derailed this story twice. So you're 17 years old. You start playing guitar, I'm assuming?
Hold on, I got a shoplifting story.
Oh, yeah, shoplifting.
Yeah.
Shout out to, by the way, shout out to Joe and Louie. Unrelated.
Yeah.
But they were old guests on the show.
Yeah, this involves a couple of friends of mine. One of them who's a wealthy accountant now, but at the time, he was a major shoplifter. And we went to Zayre's in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah. Shout out Zayre's, dog.
And get this, what are we shoplifting for? 8-track tapes. So we go shoplifting for 8-track tapes, and we're just pushing the cart around, and me and my buddy Ricky, we're filling it up, and Dave's pushing it around. He goes, "I have these brown bags. I'm just going to fill them up and run out of the store." So anyway, we go shopping, pick out all our 8-tracks. One of them was Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Animal. I remember that one. But all right. So we leave. We go outside. We're all nonchalant, and we're like, "Boy, time's going by. What's going on here?" And we look right in front of the store. There's the bag, a brown bag with the loot. So we run and grab it, run around behind the store, and throw it in the dumpster. Meanwhile, they'd been chasing our friend all over the parking lot and around back, and he was all covered in grease when we found him, because he was hiding under like the kingpin on a tractor trailer. So they drag him back. He's going to jail, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's no bag, so there's no evidence. So they cut him loose. And he had a little MG convertible. I remember we're all driving away. And we're so bad, we're like, we got the loot. Now we're stealing the loot from him. We're shoving this stuff down our pockets while he's driving. He pulls over and throws up. We're like, he was the only one that had a driver's license.
No honor amongst thieves.
No, we were just totally bad kids. It's like, jeez. Yeah.
I don't know if I wouldn't say it was bad. I think that's inherent in human nature. That just hadn't had the conditioning yet to understand it wasn't wrong, right? Like that's why you think about when you're a kid, you're much more prone to doing so. Well, most of the time, there are some people that don't, but for the most part, you think about like things you do like that, or when you're younger and you don't have a concept of when your concept of good versus bad, right versus wrong, is still muddled with just animal instinct.
Sure.
And so
also impulse control.
Right, exactly.
You
So
lack that when you're a teenager.
Right. And we didn't have any money and we wanted it. So
Yeah.
But but it was just the thrill of being bad, I think. That was the real,
Oh, dude,
buzz.
100%.
I used to thieve the shit out of comic books. So statues is way out on this, but there was a place called Infinity Comics, and they basically had a stereotypical comic book guy, like the dude from The Simpsons. He was fucking really big, and he was the first person I ever knew that had the internet, because I would always hear like before even AOL came out.
Do you like comic books?
Floppy disk.
Totally like that. Like one day, he totally like I asked about the Wolverine limited series that Frank Miller did, and he was like, "That doesn't exist." And I was like, "Motherfucker! Like I got a fucking wizard right now to list this bitch for being $32. I was gonna offer you $37. Give me this goddamn comic book." So then when we knew he would be eating, because he would order food from like the place that was right across the parking lot. He wouldn't even walk across the parking lot to go get it. It was literally like you could see it from the door. He would order pizza from like I forgot the name, Verona's Deli, and it was like literally like you could like walk like 8 car spaces and he would still have it delivered. And when he was like eating, we would steal a bunch of comic books. I stole probably like half my old comic book collection from this motherfucker just because he was mean. It was vindictive. That was vindictive stealing.
See, we went for the big ticket items when I'll never forget. It's like, this is actually kind of like a Christmas story and also a, thievery story.
Nice.
But back in the day when like GameStop would like have tiers shaped like Christmas trees of their video game system, like now it's empty boxes, as you know, when they have that display. But in the early to mid 90s, they didn't have that. So me and my brother were walking through Pentagon City, and of course they had like this tier set up for the GameCube game. That's when it first came out. And he just walked nonchalantly by and picked up one towards the end of the tree thing, slid it out, and kept walking. Didn't even like bat an eyelash or anything. And we walked out of there with a GameCube.
Right on.
Yeah,
So,
the GameCube.
yeah, they definitely don't do that anymore. They're empty boxes now. But yeah, we were
They
kind
smartened
of bad
up.
when we were teenagers. But like our parents are gonna get. There's no Santa Claus, and our parents are poor. They're not getting us this, so we're taking it.
What other capers did you get into as a youngster?
Well, I was just thinking the reason why we did it is because going to Catholic school, or the whole thing is you have to confess your sins. Well, it encourages you to sin. It's
So
like,
they just be
well,
like,
I ain't got nothing, so I shoplifting seems like fun.
and just say sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
and then God will forgive you.
Them's the rules.
and lying. I lied a lot when I was a little kid, but I realized I wasn't good at it. And you keep getting caught, and you're like, "Oh, I got to give this up. This is just not my thing." Yeah. So, all right, where are we? Back to 17, playing guitar. Learned to play a little bit, and then I had my idols. My cousin was a really good guitar player, and a couple high school guys. They're like accomplished musicians. I'm like, oh, I want to play the music they're playing. Well, it turns out it was like, Black Sabbath and heavy metal and punk and things like that. That is great when you're, a teenager and you got a shit ton of black t-shirts. But as you get older, it's hard to keep that going. At least for me, it was. I just like too many things. So I ended up being in, a band, and then finally got in a band with my dream buddies and was playing with them, which I have a time capsule I brought here just for show and tell.
Shit.
Whip it out, bro.
Yeah. So backing up a little, or not backing up, forward to just this last week, I'm dealing with my folks' estate stuff and cleaning out outbuildings and stuff. And 30 years ago, I had a little studio, kind of like this one, but it was a little shed outside the house. And it's like I had loot in there, but then it got filled with other debris and I never saw it again. But let me get this out here. I haven't opened these in 30 years, 40 years. There we go. This is appropriate. Hellion.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
That was the name of the band that I was in with my idol, my cousin, who lives right down the street from me now.
Those are full ass satchels.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, I'm not trying to be distant. I'm trying to make this order right now.
Oh shit.
Just, dude.
Holy fuck.
Oh, man.
Wow.
This is,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude.
Yeah, so these are some of the posters.
Well,
this wasn't. Well, see, I got the bands mixed up.
Hold up.
This is
man.
the other
You
man.
fucking shit up, bro.
Oh yeah, there's one. Impending doom descends upon
You
Knoxville.
Oh, dude, those were always the best flyers.
Yeah,
I remember being in a Kinko's and fucking
Yeah.
making flyers like that. It was so fucking fun being in a band.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's like fucking shit, dude.
This is so cool right now.
Yeah, dude.
Here's one. Check that
What?
one out.
Oh, Eraserhead.
Henry from Eraserhead. Chicken.
At the Happy Pickle with the
Yeah.
Here, put this, George. We put this up for the camera. You gotta show these people this shit. This is so amazing, dude. This is crazy, dude.
Wow. Anyway, I hadn't looked at this since then. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, look at this young guy. So my roommate was a printer, so he made all our posters too. So look, I got like a stack of these. oh my God. And I was a graphic designer, or artist, so I did all the posters, which was kind of fun. Yeah, Henry.
Wearing them leathers.
Yeah. Another one. This particular show at the Gentry, it was a Sunday night. We were playing with the Obsessed.
Oh shit.
Wino, he's like a legendary heavy metal guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Obsessed, but we were playing there Saturday night, and this kid's here, and it's like 14 years old, and I'm like, kid, what the fuck are you doing here? It's a school night. Get out of here. Well, it turns out our singer, it was 2 doors down, and the band Scream rehearsed in Falls Church.
Uh-huh.
And the little, the 15-year-old kid or 14, whatever he was David Grohl. so I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. It's a school night. So, I tried to throw him out of the club, but I was just like, Vance.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. And then later on, it was like 20 years later, I'm like, wait, what? Oh, that's the same guy. Oh, well, apparently he was in school. I didn't know. Yeah. Anyway, these are crazy. The Cold Day in Hell tour from Bundooli's in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, I hadn't had these boxed out in a long time. Oh, here, how about this guy? Trying to think of the movie. Do you know who?
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Yeah,
Dude.
because my roommate was a film buff,
God damn, George.
We watched all this stuff.
That was a reach, bro. Like, Lita, did you have
Oh,
that
yeah.
on deck? All right, well, fuck you too.
Yeah, that's,
You need to
that's
watch
like
some
1952.
I watched some shit. All right, I watched some shit.
Yeah.
Watch some weird shit.
Yeah, Tor Johnson, that was his name.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
This
pretty
is-
good. So yeah, anyway, so I played music with those guys 3-4 years, and then I realized, including myself, we were all idiots. We put out an album. I was in another band, The Factory, also put an album out with them. But it was, ironically, years later, the band we toured with all the time was Death Row, but they were actually Pentagram, so they changed their name
shit.
back to Pentagram.
Damn, the original Death Row.
Yeah. So
was
for 2 years,
Suge Black.
every gig they did. Yeah. So no, not that one. Yeah.
No,
This
I
was
mean, well, the
1980s.
irony of the name.
But nobody got it. They were just like, by the time we would open up for them, okay, whatever. Was it entertaining? I don't know. Heavy metal punk is, it'll give you a nervous breakdown, but that's what we were doing. And then they would come on doing their Black Sabbath type material, and there'd be like 3 people in the place, like in a strip club or whatever. So they had zero success, but then like 15 years later, suddenly people knew who Pentagram was when they changed their name. Do you guys know who Pentagram is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of the original, like, sort of,
Doom metal.
Yeah,
where
people are like, these guys might actually be satanic.
Yeah. Those were my buddies and people. So I played music with those guys, then played another band, and then there was our singer was a drug addict. He would I remember at the DC Space, he whipped around in the middle of a show and pulled a hypodermic out of his vest and stuck it in his hand, Delata, what you're talking about, and then spun back around and finished the song.
Fucking
And
Christ.
I'm playing I switched to bass at that point. I'm like, I want to crack his skull right now.
Yeah.
So
Do it before.
Yeah. So lots of good stories in between, fun times, blah, blah, blah. Set M80 on a cigarette timer on his windowsill while he's getting it on with his
Yes.
girlfriend.
Y'all know about that?
Yeah.
No.
So if you take a cigarette, I don't know if it works anymore because they
Oh,
changed
hell yeah, it
paper. Well,
works.
because papers now have the anti-burn.
It won't burn down?
Yeah, it doesn't burn
Yeah.
down the same
Oh,
way.
yeah.
But basically, back in the day, this is an awesome thing that I knew as a child hooligan too. Is that if you take a cigarette, you rip the filter off, or if it's an unfiltered cigarette, you take a firework and you put the fuse into it. You light the top, and then it slowly burns down. And then once it gets to it takes about 2 or 3 minutes before it gets to.
Yeah.
And so you have plenty of time
Holy
to get away.
fuck.
Yeah, we just light a cigarette. This one I set on a windowsill, so it's sitting on the windowsill, and it would just burn down. So you laid the fuse on top of it, and then suddenly,
Kablooey.
And of course, a week later, his girlfriend, we called her the wig lady. She always had this giant tall hair. But I was like, hey, anything weird happened the other night? Because he didn't mention it at all. Yeah. Vance. Yeah, so the band Scream rehearsed 2 doors down from that particular band where we rehearsed. And Vance was such a wild guy. And then he, got into heavy drugs. Otherwise, his life would have been different. But David Grohl wrote a song called Good Looking Corpse, and it was about Vance. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So, whatever. Some DC art scene. But, as you saw with David Grohl, you had to leave to become well known.
Is that
I think that, I don't know. I think DC had a scene. I think it was just that he went out and I think that Dave Grohl, from my very novice knowledge of Dave Grohl, is that he was like, I think he went out to do something that was outside of what you could do in DC. DC at that point in time, you had punk and you had go-go.
Right.
But you really didn't have, there wasn't anything that was really definitive of a profit. It had to come out in economics. I mean, there was no money to be made in DC.
Well, I mean, a lot of the bigger bands, I mean, Bad Brains got forced out of DC.
Yeah.
And then the bands that came after it were all like straight edge hardcore bands that weren't into like making money. The shows were super cheap. So
Fugazi shows back in the day in high school were the coolest thing you
they
could
were
go
cool
to as a high school
but
student.
they were organic as shit. They'd be like, no AC in this show.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
Well, it was just super DIY. That was like the origins of DIY. It was before, it was like back when DIY. The irony of DIY scene now is that it's so intentionally shitty. Like back in the day, it's just like they were just doing what they had to do, and now the DIY scene is like we're intentionally shitty to be DIY.
I remember once I was in a band and you're like playing and it sounds like really shitty because you buy like crate amps and fucking you can't afford anything great. And then when we started getting like real amps, we were like, holy shit, we actually sound like like you want to play better, and you end up sounding less punk because you're like
That's right, tone. Especially guitar players. That's
when you're like, I don't have to be super distorted the whole time.
Yeah. Once you learn how to play, you start letting off that pedal a little bit.
But it's so fun to just turn the volume up to 10 and everything up to 10 and then just be like, noise! I'm the loudest person.
Yeah.
And hardcore bands.
Yeah, so after that, I decided to go to art school and quit playing music. But coming back around to the photography, so I'm hanging out the same scene.
Now everybody's got to have one. Everybody's got to do
White lightning.
White lightning.
Yeah. That stuff will
All right, so where'd you go to art school, bro?
Take your breath away. I wanted something different. I wanted to go to film school, so I went, okay, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast. I'm still living in suburbia and going into DC for entertainment, the music scene and all that. But I ended up going to school in New York City. But in the meantime, how I got there, I started photographing the bands and backstage stuff at these shows, and then, I put a portfolio together and I got into fine art school in New York City. More importantly, got to go, a scholarship. I went from a fuck up with a 78 average to a scholarship, so that was pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see what happens when you put somebody in an environment where they'll thrive. I mean, that was, I went to college, and I did horribly in college, and I'm a much smarter person than I look person. And that a smart person would not say. And
You're smarter than you look.
I'm smart enough to act dumb, actually.
Right.
And in college, I sucked, dude. I hated it. College was I would have to say, if there was a bad time in my life, and it wasn't bad, it was just like not the greatest time. It was college. I just and because I was the whole time I was like questioning the whole thing. I'm like, this is some fucking shit.
Well, did you go straight to high school to college?
Yeah.
See, I went to college for 15 years.
All right.
Woo!
I went to night school and all that, and then I got a scholarship. So I'm like, oh shit, I got 2 younger brothers. They're gonna have degrees. I'm gonna be the dummy in the family. Fuck you. So all 3 of us graduated the same year. Only I'm 10 years older than one and 8 years older than the other, who was a semi fuck up. But
I mean, I'm just passing out of habit. Sorry, bro. You feel like you don't have to. The cool thing about this is that nobody dies.
nobody dies.
Nobody dies. There's no overdosing. I always love it when I hear the stories about people that went to the hospital for weed, and I'm like,
I've had moments where I'm like, is this what dying feels like? I think I might be having a heart attack. I need to go for a walk.
I will say I saw the worst I've ever seen at a party, and I'm not gonna say who it was.
Yeah,
but that young man
it rhymes with Lilith Baylor. Lilith Baylor.
All I know is that son of a bitch rode that shit till the brakes fall off. That's the fucking highest I've ever seen one person in my entire life.
All right, so funny story about that is at that point in time, I was equally as high, but my response was way different.
Yeah, dude.
I was sitting there just housing. This was at the Catamount Lounge holiday party last year. It was 1 year to the day, actually. We're like, I think it's coming up on one. It's like close to 1 year to the day. And by the way, I think the next one's coming up soon, guys. By the way, but anyways, that was funny as shit because I remember it wasn't the holiday party. It wasn't the holiday. It was Shannon's birthday party.
Yeah.
So I ate 900 milligrams of THC that day.
What?
Yes. I'm a monster, dude. And
yeah.
And so
he just sitting by this fucking food table, fucking house and shit.
Olympian. I think that's Olympic level.
You know what it is, and I said this to a couple of comics the other night, and they understood, like older comics, they completely understood. They were like, dude, it's wild how much cannabis you consume, and I was like, well, I have this thing, and it's a career goal of mine as a stand-up comedian or entertainer is to meet Joey Diaz and not die and actually show him up. I don't know if you know who Joey Coco Diaz is.
I don't.
So
I should.
He's a celebrity. He's a legendary stand-up.
Don't know his name. Really?
Comic actor. He's on Joe Rogan's podcast with The Frequency, but he's notorious because he eats insane amounts of edibles, and he will surreptitiously let people eat a larger amount than they understand. And so there's all these stories about getting fucking
he'll take the wrapper off of one and put it on another one.
Yeah, so I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm saying. Yo, bring it on, Joey Diaz. Bring it on, Joey Diaz. Remember the time I ate 5,000 milligrams on the show?
Oh yeah,
I ate 5,000 milligrams on this show.
Yeah, he said every time I ding the bell, I got to eat one, and then he had the motherfucking bell.
What's a normal dose?
Like
30.
Yeah,
30.
I can't even do 10 without.
Oh yeah,
I'm
like
such
a gummy, 5 or 10.
I'm 10 and I'm like laughing a little bit, and life is kind of like funny.
Was this like a 8-9 hour brownie or 24?
They were gummies. Like you have to get to that level. It has to come from like distillate. It can't be just.
That's when your body just vibrate.
Because otherwise, it would be like eating a softball.
I'll tell you what though. Yesterday, I was having a terrible manic swing. My anxiety was through the roof. Everything was going wrong that could go wrong in my world, which wasn't much, because usually my life is pretty kick-ass. And so I was like, and then Tina Songbird is like, oh, we're just here, have a little bit of my tincture. And man, I put a little bit of that tincture on my tongue, and I shit you not, 20 minutes later, everything was cool. Got up, had a great set. Everything all that shit. I'm just saying, I love the way that weed works. I mean, I love you, Mary Jane. I love you, Mary Jane. I love Kelly, and I love Mary Jane in that order. Sometimes, just kidding, buddy. I love you. Man, weed's the shit. All right, so we gotta get back to your shit. Your shit's way more interesting and funny. My shit's just very self-centered.
You started art school.
Oh yeah. Well, before then, what happened? It's like, hey, we'll give you a scholarship, but school starts next week, so you got to wait till next year. I'm like, oh fuck. So I quit my job and got a new job. I had a top secret clearance back then. I was working spy shit and stuff just because.
Did you work with Mike Hasty?
Maybe, but He didn't look like that way back when. I know later after I left, there was a bit of controversy because the receptionist, a male receptionist, had been dealing coke heavily to all these Navy people. So whatever it was some nefarious shit. And I remember the head
Long
of
hair don't care.
The head of security, his name was Pete Moss. I'm like,
Pete Moss, nice.
you can't make that shit up. But
Parents are assholes.
I got a better one than that, dude. There was a teacher at my high school, at Bishop Dennis J. O'Connell. His name was Major Peter Palmer.
oh yeah,
My little sister had him as a teacher.
Palmer Peter.
Major Peter. No, his name Major. He was a major in the Army.
Yeah,
Peter Palmer.
that's pretty cool. Little alliteration there. So when I worked at this place with my top secret clearance, I was a technical illustrator. But a block away on Beauregard Street, this was in Alexandria, was Northern Virginia Community College. Their art school was right there. It was super cool. And between here and there was Five Guys. It was the satellite place where you went in there and stomped all over peanuts while you were waiting in line and ate them. And, and I remember I met all the sons. They all worked there, and they were grumpy as shit. So, especially the oldest one. So I'm like,
The Morrell brothers, man. I went to high school with them.
did you?
Yeah, dude.
yeah. The oldest one was just like, what the fuck? He didn't like his job. I don't
Man,
guess.
yeah, guess what? Right now, he's loving his job.
Yeah, but their burgers and dogs were killer. Oh, I'm sure he is. But up the streets, Beauregard, the art school, great spot. So that's when I started going to school at night because I had a job that would reimburse you for your tuition.
Oh.
So I'm like, fuck yeah. So I did that for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. Who knows? And then finally it's like, what are you going to do now? Well, this job sucks. Well, actually, I only did it 3 years there. And then I got into school, New York, and up there. That was a trip. It's like, I want something different. Well, let me tell you, New York City, concrete, I wore out all my shoes and boots in 3 months. And I had like 10 pair. So I was like, oh, shit.
Shit got real.
Yeah. So you're just...
Mama said these shoes would take me anywhere.
Yeah. I'm getting an education, but at the same time, I'm like, as you're wandering around Manhattan, you're like, I just want to go one day where I don't feel like I got ripped off, Towards the end of my stay, after 2 years, I was only there 2 years, I was jumping turnstiles. It's like, fuck, I only have one token left, and the train just went the wrong direction. So now you got cops chasing you, and you're like, fuck you. We're evening things out. Yeah.
Man, where'd you go to school in New York?
Tisch School of the Arts, NYU. Yeah. 721 Broadway. Yeah. So there was a film school upstairs.
I love how you threw that in there like Dipset style. It's like
Oh,
721
yeah.
Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
That was the building. Yeah.
So
And right behind you is Tompkins. No, not Tompkins. Shit. I can't even think of the square now. It was Greenwich Village.
Oh.
So it was like a dream school. But the reality was when I got off the elevator the first day, the students are like, is that a student or a teacher? That vibe, like you're in between.
Yeah.
Some of them like, oh, I don't want to be that person that's a failure. They're like 30 in college. I'm 20, what the fuck's wrong with him? Turns out, my lifelong quest to get your shit together, that's when it kicks in.
Dude. So what year were you in New York City?
88, 89, and 90.
That's pre-Giuliani. Those are still the weird years.
Yeah. Mayor Koch, kick him in the crotch. Yeah. But what happened, I was there in 88, and I lived in West Greenwich Village, and I go to get in a cab, and this old man gets out, and then you look, and you realize, oh, fuck, this guy's got AIDS. He's my age. That's when the AIDS had just, infiltrated. This is the West Village, so there's a lot of gay folks there and whatever, but there was no cure or anything.
Yeah.
So it was suddenly like people were just withering away. Robert Mapplethorpe, photographer, he was happening at that time. He was still alive. And then what's the guy? Keith
Haring.
Yeah, Keith Haring.
Yeah, Keith Haring, man.
Yeah,
I'm a
working
huge
artist,
Keith Haring
man.
fan, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
It was a cool time, but I don't know. City just wasn't for me. So I left, came back here, did a couple other things, and started to move back up there, and then didn't. So the trouble when I went to the art school, two of the professors who founded the program, they're like, "Oh, you're from Virginia? You like to hunt and fish?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I guess, whatever." So next thing you know, I'm going out Long Island fishing with my professor and, other folks. And then we'd go up to the Catskills and go deer hunting and shit. And one of my professors shot a deer for the first time ever. He was from Minnesota, Paul. Turns out he was super cool guy. I didn't really understand him, but I think he was probably a little on the spectrum. So his artwork was incredible, but it was like, damn, talk about ADD. We're going 5 places at the same time. but we would smoke weed and we're up in the mountains doing shit. Anyway, we go deer hunting. One of them shoots the deer. It's up on top of the hill behind the house. There's snow on the ground. It slides down
This weed
all the way
smells
down into the
fantastic.
backyard. Now there's a dead deer laying in the backyard. I'm like, holy shit. It's not that easy. You got to drag that thing back up in the woods a little bit. So he did. And I had a Swiss Army knife. So I'm with my 2 professors, and now I'm like, all right, we're going to gut this deer, but that's all I have is a Swiss Army knife.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty raw. We got it done. But they
That's a lot of
watched
work.
it. Yeah, and they
Deer
were,
hunter style.
they'd been in New York City 20 years. I think it was like, holy shit. One of them knew all about gutting fish, but he brought that up years later. I'd forgotten him. I goes, yeah, not everybody guts a deer with a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, Tom Drysdale. He's the one that gave me the scholarship, by the way. Super cool guy. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. This is fun. I'm just like stream of conscious. How about you? What were you doing in 1988?
What was I doing in 1988? 1988.
Transformers and He-Man, bro.
Robots and
I was
Discogs.
Nintendo, dude.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah,
that
yeah.
was 19 Christmas of 1987 was a revolutionary point in my life. Is when I got my Nintendo Entertainment System, and I think that's like in 1988, Christmas of 1988, Zelda. It was Legend of Zelda, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. There
What?
was dude. It was a fantastic. I think that would be what I was doing in 1988. That was before the hormones started kicking in. So there was
yeah.
Legos too. I was huge into Legos back then, man. I remember I'm like, I'm very fortunate that my parents were as cool as they were. Like, especially at Christmas. I remember, I think it was in I forget what year it was, but Legos came out with pirates. They had these pirate sets. Man, I got the cool ass big pirate ship, dude. That was cool as shit, man. Like, I look back on that. That was a cool ass gift.
You ever step on a Lego?
Yeah, fucking a million times, bro.
Yeah.
I step on Legos for fun.
All right.
No, I was kidding.
Yeah, see, Legos, they're nothing. I stepped on a die-cast, like, little truck car with the exhaust that sticks up,
Oh.
and I still have the fucking knot on the bottom of my
Really?
foot.
Remember
this
Jax?
shit fucking hurts, dude. I thought I was gonna
Ooh,
kill my
yeah.
son. Like, here come your shit, little shit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. You have a household full of children, and I mean Adam.
Well, I mean,
And
yeah, I mean, he
shout out
counts.
to Adam. What's up, dog? I was
He
kidding,
counts.
bang. He's my home. Nah, man. He's he's a grown child. I forgot.
You know what I actually like? I think about when I see the cars,
What's that?
the bigger ones, like the Tonka truck, like, cause you might not see it and step back and then fucking slide across like Homer
Yeah.
Simpson.
Yeah, like fucking banana slide across the goddamn living room. Yeah, this is my life every day. Today, my toddler son decided while I was on a meeting, because I work from home, that he was going to take my $100 makeup palette and then go in his room. He's very quiet, and like sometimes he closes the door because like he just likes his own space and quietness, as most autistic children do. But he was really quiet. He was particularly quiet. I'm like, man, I'm having a good meeting right now. Like, everything's going well. Like, he's not screaming. There's no like,
Too quiet.
yeah, nothing going on in the background. And then I get off the call and I'm like, I better go check on him. So I open the door, and at first, I swear I thought it was shit. I thought he had smeared shit all over the walls, all over his body. I like kind of had a panic attack. And then I realized, oh no, he's just playing with my super expensive makeup,
Yeah.
and decided to, like, it was the neutral like the the neutral colors, the browns and stuff. So he put it like on his eyes, gave himself a little Hitler stash. He like gave himself stripes on the wall.
Hell yeah.
There's like glittery brown makeup all over the fucking bedroom.
It was like,
And all I could do was laugh at that point. I was just like,
what are you
and by the way, he's totally nude. Like he's totally nude. He's got glittery, like little
nude.
penis, glittery butt, glittery knee. Like, oh my god. And I'm just like, what the actual fuck?
How old is he?
He's 3 years old.
3, yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
and
You should have fucked with him for a second, being like, he's 18.
And he looked at me. He's like, "Ee." I was like, all right, it's time for bath time, David. You ready for bath? And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's acceptable. Like now, like if he was some like random dude on a corner, like sparkling but naked, that's meth.
With
That's
like war stripes all over.
so the war stripes.
Jesus.
Here's another throwback. Speaking of nudity, streaking was a thing. So
Oh shit!
Asheville
streaking the
Plaza, Woodbridge Plaza, the McDonald's on a Friday night. That was a mistake. We ran through there and waited for the getaway car to show up, but it was stuck in the traffic jam that is the loop around McDonald's and Woodbridge. We thought we were like cool. We put a pair of underwear covering the license plate. But if your car's not moving, it's easy to remove the underwear. So, same guy, David Hainsworth, who was the shoplifter. It was his mom's station
David
wagon.
Hainsworth, shout out David
Yeah,
Hainsworth.
David Hainsworth. I know where you live, bitch. He's a well-to-do accountant too.
Yeah, I know. We talked
Super
about that
smart
earlier.
guy.
I was about to ask him, just be like, David Hainsworth, yo, we recommend you
Yeah.
as an accountant here on Helltown Radio.
Right? Yeah.
Feel free to sponsor our show. Fuck what he has to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what happened to David? His hooliganism caught up to him, and his father was a Marine, and he put him on like permanent restriction. And so for the next year and a half, we didn't see him, and he got his shit together and learned how to be a real, criminal. I mean, accountant. Sorry.
One and the same.
No,
bro.
it's the same thing. You're making money, but doing it legit.
Mm. Isn't it all? Isn't it all minus, anything that harms children?
So here's a question.
Yo.
Do you recall the time you lost your virginity?
Yeah.
I do.
All right. Are we going to tell stories?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my story first.
All right, bet. All right, bet. Hold on. I'm going to go to, you hold on. I got to take a whiz real quick.
All right, we got
hold up.
intermission.
Yeah, not intermission. It's
It's your intermission.
Here's the subject. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
UFOs.
Yeah, the subject's switching to sex. Why wouldn't it? Eventually. Yeah, I just remember being a teenager. I think it was 15, 16, definitely pushing it. It's like, I need to get laid. But you don't know what you're doing, so you're not good at it. And
You like try to slip it in a belly button or something?
Like, where does it go? Wrong hole.
I think it was just more like anxious, other, female teenagers, and it's just like, yo, hey, I think we need to do this. I don't know, whatever it was. One of those episodes, probably the first one actually, was this gal named Nancy. I don't remember her last name, but I remember she was cross-eyed. And her nickname, I didn't call her, somebody else called her Slant Eye. Of course, I told this to a Japanese guy, and he goes, they used to say that to me, too. I'm like, what? I kept going with the story, but August, like middle of the summer, end of the summer, carnal knowledge is this thing. I remember being naked out on somebody's lawn underneath a gas street light kind of thing. We weren't particularly good at it at all, but it was just a thrill that's like, oh my God. Yeah.
I don't even remember my first time. That's how unmemorable it was.
Really? See? So
Remember your second time?
No.
Did you guys?
I remember those type
Did
of
you
things
guys
I don't
Tell
remember.
stories without me.
well,
But-
you said talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
I said UFOs, man.
Oh yeah.
No, I have no
Did you
experience.
guys? All right. So you told your story?
No.
No, not
No,
yet.
no.
No.
Oh, praise
No.
Jeebus.
I don't even remember mine. So
So
Pretty
it's
good.
totally uneventful.
yeah.
See, bad sex. You know, you want to be good at something. You
No, it
gotta
wasn't that it was
practice.
bad. It was just like I was indifferent. I
Was-
guess.
yeah, yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
he was like, "Come on, come on," and I finally was like, "Fine, whatever." And
yeah.
yeah, it was meh.
Well, mine
Meh.
was bad. I don't even know if there was penetration, but it was close enough for me to cut. I'm not a virgin anymore.
I rubbed it. He rubbed it on my thigh until
Yeah.
he jizzed.
yeah. There was no orgasm either. So what? Well, maybe there was. I don't. Oh, that's another story. Same night. The gals got like crochet white panties. I finally got to that point. It's like, oh my god. But anyway, I'm in the back seat with her driving around in a 1969 Gran Torino. My friend Mike Bourget is driving, and my other friend Mike Warholic's in the shotgun. But I just remember, whatever. She finished me off, and the ejaculate like flew over the headrest, hit the rear view mirror, and the two guys in the front and the back of the head, and they're just like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ. Friendly fire them some bitches.
All I could do is like laugh hysterically, like, oh my god, oh, I'm never going to church again. This is the real God. Yeah, that was mine. It wasn't the Zoysia lawn. It was the 69 Gran Torino backseat.
I do remember the movie that was playing, Blackula.
Really?
Yep, Blackula. We were watching Blackula.
What a movie to lose your virginity to.
I like
Was he
horror
black?
movies.
No, me
No.
too. That's what
Oh,
No, he
wow.
We just like
That's amazing.
I mean, I don't think he really. I think he lied. I think
Blackula.
he pretended to
was
like
a-
horror movies, but he, was just a ploy. And
It worked.
yeah, of course.
He's
But
like,
yeah, I
found
remember
this-
that movie. I was playing Blackula.
I found this really dark horror movie we should watch. And then he pulled out Blackula.
Yeah, which
But
I mean,
I'm
it's not a
bummed.
terrible movie. It's
No.
good for the times, I guess.
It
But
was like a sexy horror movie.
I would have
Pam
rather
Grier.
watched like Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
or
I think it would be I think for a guy, it was probably way easier to be sexually aroused while Blackula is playing than the Texas.
I think you're
Chainsaw
onto
Massacre.
something there. Like I think like maybe there's some hidden
He's like, what do you think about sideburns?
He's like, the soundtrack on this movie is way better.
or like what do you think about Big Black Dick?
Yeah.
He started talking real deep.
What?
He's like,
I mean, well, maybe. I mean, that's you know what? That's a very interesting, like Freudian thought
I'm just
process to
saying.
have on. Well, dude, I will tell you, mine was hilarious.
Hold on a minute. We're talking about movies before we do yours. Has anybody got laid at a drive-in movie theater?
Yeah.
Sorry, Gramps.
All right,
What?
there we go.
Yeah, I have.
Hey, all right, fuck myself.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, come on now. You've been to a drive-through, right? Like drive-in, whatever.
No, I've never been to a drive-in theater.
What?
Really?
Nope.
Are you fucking joking?
Nope.
All right,
Oh,
field trip, obviously.
Bucket list, Steven
Yeah.
City.
No, yeah, they have Steven City, they have family driving, and it's
Yeah.
been this thing I've always talked about doing, and I just haven't. You know what? I feel bad. This year, I have not been to the movie theaters once, and I feel bad. Yeah, I know. I'm doing a disservice to the industry.
Obviously.
I'm doing a disservice to Rick Novak, who, by the way, Ricky Balboa. Let's shout out to my man's. That motherfucker is the coolest dude on Main Street for real. Seriously, man, that whole the front, the marquee of the Royal Cinema really sets an old town feel. He's a really responsible business owner because there's a part of him that doesn't want to do some of the shit he does, but he does it anyways. Unlike the dickhead that owns the property where Pavement is, that shot down a couple of people's ideas to turn it into a place that would have been a more attractive spot for people to visit our town and also just be not an eyesore.
Yeah.
Because right now all Pavement is
fucking parking.
it's
Yeah, so it's a parking lot.
Lindsay Chevrolet's used parking lot. It's not even a used car sales lot.
Right.
It's just a parking thing. And that John Evans, the dude who owns it, and I'm outing him right now on this massively streamed, widespread media. It's gonna take him down. I'm taking him down right now.
I will tell you, I've had
there.
a few of my friends that still live in Alexandria, and like we talk every now and then, but I don't share a lot of stuff, and they had stopped by and they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" Because they would see me post about it like whenever I would check in, and I would talk about how great Pavement was, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's been closed for a while and it's not there anymore, unfortunately."
Man.
And they're like, "Well, that sucks because it's like a car dealership now." I'm like,
It's not a car dealership.
It's not.
It is
it's
a
not.
car
It's
parking
yeah. It's
lot.
just a parking.
Here's a little history on that spot. That used to be called Parkway Chevrolet back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's where they sold cars. And there was a car, salesman hustling you out there in the parking lot and all that way back when. That's why it has that swoopy roof and stuff like that. So, but it doesn't have all that style. It's just like where they're parking their extra cars. Yeah.
And it has so much potential. And, as somebody, I worked at Pavement for a long time. And
you did?
I did.
So
and
yeah.
I had a hand in a lot of Pavement history. And shout out to Rachel if you're watching. Shout out to Rachel, Phil Mesger, Hamilton. I don't know how many other last names you got, you hoe. But that's my big sister. I'm allowed to say that shit.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot, so we were good. We were good to go. But yeah, it was I think that it really does a disservice to what her and Christian did there, to take that lot from being known as just like a place where you buy used cars to being a community draw. People knew it as what it was. They closed abruptly. They closed because there were some things that people don't know behind the scenes, right? Everybody has their suspicions. Everybody wants to say some shit. Everybody thinks they know. Nobody fucking knows the entire story, all right? I know close to the entire story, maybe. And I will tell you, if you understand what had people go through as human beings, you wouldn't fucking do that shit neither, man.
Yeah.
And, and so the sad part is, and the responsibility really fell on the landlord, who decided that instead of it being something that would be exemplary of Front Royal, right? And you know what's even sadder, and I'm going to get to this in a second, is so I'm on the board of directors for Downtown Front Royal Incorporated. We're a non-for-profit that is trying to beautify and promote economic vitality while preserving our hometown mountain feel, right? Yeah. And we are just about to sink a few tens of thousands of dollars into a big, nice sign that's going to go right across the street from where that shithole fucking thing is, because original thought was it was still going to be Pavement, right? And so now, all of this effort and shit is going into this thing that we're trying to beautify Front Royal. Meanwhile, John Evans and Lindsay Chevrolet want to make it their little hoe house, some yank yank, and so I'm sorry, man, a little bit of moonshine talking right now, but no, but seriously, man, that is some serious bullshit, man. And it's like, it really bothers me as somebody who really and I don't outwardly exemplify it. Like, I'm not, I don't own a car dealership, and but I really give a shit about this town, and like to see that horse shit go on, man.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
I think it's knowing Jack Evans, their family owned that.
Oh,
spot.
Jack Evans, that's not John Evans.
Well, it's John. It was Jack Evans was the father.
Yeah.
John and took over the business.
Yeah, motherfucking both.
But he's just thinking the easy way is just to rent it to these people. It makes sense. They are already renting the other space, or they bought the other space.
It's a long-term
South
lease.
Row.
Yeah, it's
a long-term lease?
Yeah, it's a long-term lease, man. I got a little bit on the ying on it earlier.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a business guy and you're retiree age, it makes perfect sense to just chill out. I'm just showing the capitalist
Well, of course,
side.
yeah, the capitalist side. But you know what the sad thing is?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put out any names.
Yeah.
But he was approached by two current business owners on Main Street who are substantiated, have the capital behind them, and were good to go. Had been cleared on everything they needed to do, and because it was within 2 weeks he made a decision, and it was bullshit.
I bet if somebody talked to him, you could get him to change his mind.
All right, I hope so, man. Sorry,
Yeah.
maybe I'm a little hot in the head. Maybe I'm a little hot in the pants. Maybe
And it's
you got
pretty
a
much
better...
plug and play, right? Like they still have like
No,
it's
it's all-
ready
no,
to
it's not-
put stuff in.
It's-
No, they
it's-
took
it's
everything
not-
out of there.
It's
right?
not, but the thing is that the ideas that the people have that wanted to go in there, the two people in there both had very similar ideas, a little bit differing, but like the one major one was that they would be a hub for local food trucks. So they would host 2 to 4 food trucks that would stay there, and so the food trucks would provide,
cool.
the food trucks would provide the food service.
Yeah.
Because the food was there, they were able to be an ABC license,
Right.
and then you'd be able also to bring in. And one of them, unfortunately, and like the thing is, like there's this whole thing that there was like, it has to be like something that's going to be automotively driven, right? Like I think the big thing about the place is that it had to go back to being a something car driven. Is that one of the ideas was, that's from Aaron over at Jackrabbit, who was an alumni of the show, was he wanted to do like have it be one of his satellite shops, and also be a place for people that are riding their motorcycles through town and through the Skyline Drive to be able to come through, and they could have repairs, they could buy merch, they could get gear. Well, your fucking knob falls off, or fucking you need a fucking your jacket rips, whatever it is. He would be able to have you on that, and then also like some service element there too. But then also have some food service parts, and then there would be beer and scantily clad young ladies. But that's a different story for a different time. But I'm saying is like that was a couple of the ideas. The other one was a beignet. It would have been beignets, and it would have been primarily a breakfast place.
Oh, like
And so-
Cafe Du Monde?
Absolument.
Nice.
Tu comprends?
Go
Yeah, tu comprends, mon ami, mon frère. And so it was supposed to be, and so the other one was going to be a beignet shop, and it would have operated the inside of it would have operated as a beignet and coffee shop and chicory, and and then they would have had during the day, and then at night they would have had food trucks come in and do the food service at night. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, have it be a live entertainment venue.
Yeah,
So those
cool.
were the two ideas that were presented, that were shot down in order for that place to become a parking lot for cars that will probably be
That won't get sold.
No, they won't get sold.
They won't get sold.
Nope, they'll
Nobody's
just be
buying cars right
collateral,
now. In
uh,
fact,
they're-
it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, it's just
No one's going to be
storage.
buying shit in
Yeah.
the next 6 months.
All right, I'm sorry. All right,
So-
sorry. Get derailed. All right, so you're playing heavy metal, doing kick-ass shit, doing photography, film school in New York. You got do you have kids?
Yeah. So that's chapter 2.
Oh
Um,
shit! Are we end up in a Mike Hasey situation?
No. Maybe. Who knows?
No, we still
But-
got some time, and
Yeah.
also we're still waiting on where the fuck is this?
I bet you're sitting outside the door.
Yeah. I got
It is.
It is.
That bastard. I said I wanted it in hand. I'm giving it a
Like
3-star rating because that
I give
it
him
arrived
2.
18 minutes ago, man. Can you open up the door? There's one of
Probably like
there's-
cold ass
It's probably a
pizza.
stack of pizza there.
It's not pizza.
Oh shit, KFC.
Holy.
It is, and it would have been Popeyes, but Popeyes' shit's all fucked up on DoorDash. Get your shit together. All right, pop this thing in the middle. This is unfortunate. Normally on the show, Joe, we do a thing where we have the delivery driver come in here for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
and
makes them get high with them.
Yeah.
I think it's probably somebody that's been on the show before.
They're like,
And
no,
they're like-
not again.
Remember, because I was like, last time I went in there, I did a dab. I came out, my wife beat me. So, anyways, shout out to who was our DoorDasher? It was
Christopher. No, that's you.
that's
Well, we could do improv. I can be the delivery guy.
Hey,
isn't
what's
one,
up?
This isn't one of your parody porns, Joe.
Yeah.
This is
Hard. So,
like, did somebody order a big drumstick?
Yeah.
so having kids.
Oh yeah. So I got out of school, had a bit of a photo career doing shows. Did one man show up in Michigan, and had a show in New York lined up, and then I was teaching photography back at the across from Five Guys. I went back there because I had a 4-year degree and said, "Hey, can I use your dark room?" And they looked at me and said, "These are one of the professors." They go, "You want to teach a class?" I'm like, "Can I use your dark room?" And they're like, "Yeah, if you teach class." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll teach class." So when do you want me to start? And it's like, this is on Monday. They go, tomorrow morning, 9:30. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, no syllabus, no nothing. So that night I went to another campus, took the 101 photo class, got the syllabus, copied it the next morning and handed it out for my class. And then I got to use the darkroom. So I was printing stuff and teaching photography and doing shows. And then I met this girl. I moved to Tacoma Park, Maryland. My neighbor lived across the street. She wooed me. She would like put on a tight purple dress and cook me dinner and watch me eat. I'm like, damn, you're making me nervous. I think that was the plan. But anyway, getting ready to go on a motorcycle trip. I'm leaving 2 weeks. I'll be back. I'm not sure when. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. So I'm just like, oh, shit. So, well, what do you do? Want to get married next month? Well, no, we're a race against the clock. 9 months, Catholic boy. And it's like, oh, shit. This is on Thursday. So we decided, how about Monday? So Monday, we came up to Front Royal, family land, and got married down by the pond because that's probably where she got pregnant. Not at the pond, but I had a little cabin in the woods, and we'd all just go up there and hang out. So next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. I had a motorcycle, sold my Harley, and bought a station wagon, and then I made up for lost
Country
time.
Squire?
Yeah. No, it was a Oldsmobile. Delta 88. I don't know. We called it the shaggin' wagon. Yeah. It's like, I'm not buying a fucking minivan. Probably should have, but no, we went with the station wagon. Yeah. But when she got pregnant, she had a 9-year-old Rylan Greenhouse, who happens to be Melania's husband. Melania's Gourmet here in town.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Those are my peeps.
Shout out, man. Yo, I love those motherfuckers, man. They're amazing.
She's like a world-class chocolatier.
You know what was awesome is that
world class. I'm not talking like regional.
The hot chocolate. So
yeah,
Papa Joe, you don't know about me, Melania, and Rylan. We have a lot of mutual friends in the business, and we are.
That's right. Yeah, they mentioned.
And we go back a little bit, and it's amazing because Melania will actually make me her her famous hot chocolate, which she had originally on the menu and they took off, but because I'm a whiny, self-centered bitch, I ended up conniving my way into being able to get it sometimes when I go there. And I haven't been back in a while. I'm gonna go back there probably tomorrow morning. Now that I think about it, because now I want that hot chocolate. But you get that with the pan au chocolat that she has there, and the pan au chocolat there is very reminiscent of the pan au chocolat that I used to get when I would be in Brussels visiting my grandparents. And me and my granddad would leave out Pepe, me and Pepe. We would go out on the streets of Brussels, and French? We would go out to the patisserie. Oui. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu penses? Je suis un Américain faux boeuf. That means retarded American. And that is literally how you be. That's the offensive term in French. And so
say it again so I can.
Faux boeuf.
Faux boeuf.
Yeah, faux boeuf. Faux boeuf.
Front Royal Fabuff.
Front Royal.
Front Royal.
Je suis en la pants.
You say it's Front Royal.
Front Royal. Actually, I think Front Royal doesn't have much French influence. Front Royal, I think the whole reason they call
German.
No, I think it's it's English as shit, dude. Really? It's it had to do with the whole thing of where the English couldn't come in anymore. They were because of the way the whole structure works. And so they had the Royal Oak was a giant tree that used to be in Front Royal. It's that was an actual thing.
I know
the Battle of Front Royal was on my birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Right on.
I know, it's awesome. I found that out one day. I was walking by the plaque on my way to ASAP. And just kidding, it's right next to the ASAP building though. When I went to ASAP, it was all by phone because it was pandemic. But the
that's probably the best joke I've ever heard.
It's a half truth joke. It's a truth joke.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, dude. Statute of limitations. Yeah, I spent a lot of time taking bong hits and drinking beers while being on my Zoom call for for ASAP classes. But you know it's all right because here's why. Because when I at the end of it, no, fuck yeah, it is, Joe. Fuck the system, and it has nothing to do with public safety. It's all about revenue, and so it does, Joe. It does.
Well, I my best friend Mike Warholic, who's long gone, but he was in AA and for 11 years getting his chips and everything. And the whole fucking time he was drinking on the sly. 11 years. That's how bad he had it. But
yeah, you want to know why? Because it becomes a social club. It just you go there and you find and there's just inherently with the way the whole structure of like, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll goes, like sex and drugs, you know what I mean? Like, and alcohol's and drugs. So like people go there to end up wooing or because it's easy prey, dude. Like, oh, you don't drink anymore.
I think that people want camaraderie too in their own. Like if you're sharing like an addiction or something that's really hard for you, it's really nice to meet other people that are going through that same thing.
I quit drinking 2 times a week, religiously every week, and I am not delusional enough. I'm delusional enough to say that 2 times a week, but I'm not delusional enough to get into AA.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll say like 100%. I am definitely. I know I'm an alcoholic. I'm a functioning alcoholic, but like it's like rose-colored glasses to like, oh, you know, like I commend anybody that stops drinking. Like more power to you. But
should we mix some? Should we do like some gravy and moonshine shots?
I don't think so, dude. I might vomit profusely.
All right, hold up. With that being said, hold up real quick. I just want to take a pause because I want to get to like this motherfucker's story in a second. But I have been itchy in the pantsy for the past like 2 hours that we've been here because I want to do this.
What are you doing?
I got a Christmas present.
Aw.
All right.
Well, damn, Chris. Like, I'm not like you're gonna be at Cat right on Friday? Because
this is not about this or that, man. This is about this.
That's when I had planned on doing.
Yo,
stuff,
this is the Christmas episode. It's the year-end episode.
Oh, nice.
That's for you. Wait, don't open it yet.
Got any bells so we can jingle
jingle? Or him?
That's yours. This one's George's. Yours is in my house, and you know what's amazing? I didn't have it. I've been looking at it's a thing, man, and I've been asking the universe, who is this going to? I sent a message to Kelly and Lauren and hope maybe y'all bring him over, but there is something that I would like you to bring over from a man, Joe. But there's something specific. But so, anyways,
I thank you for the thought. I've been throwing away my dad's stuff for like 2 months now. So
does he have VHS tapes? Please don't say you just threw out VHS tapes. Please don't say you just threw out VHS tapes.
Just lie if you did.
Well, I think they were VHS tapes at one time before the roof leaked and the rain came in.
Oh, yeah. They're done.
And the trunk they were in had no top anymore. So, yeah, they were definitely VHS tapes at some point. But out in the sun in the attic, they were long gone.
All right. So, because it is the Christmas show, and I did not realize that Joe was going to come in here and be so goddamn Papa Joe-ish about this. He brought so much amazingness to the show so far, and we are not even into the thick of it. But yo, this amazing cannabis, this amazing fine ethanol product. But I have something, and I was thinking about to go to one of your stories. And when I give you the present, you'll understand what it is, and I'll tell you all after he leaves. But anyway, so now we can all reveal our present at the same time.
War.
So I got us matching hats.
What?
So we can be like, yeah, it's like South Park. And then we wear these hats for the rest of the show now.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, nah, man, this is
some dang fine hats.
They are some dang fine hats. I was out today, and it was... So I almost got you guys these amazing... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say because I think I might still get you them. So if they're still there tomorrow, I'm going to get them to them.
Where'd you get those?
We got them at Rural King in Front Royal, Virginia. Rural King, possible sponsor of Helltown Radio in the future.
I was hoping it was Andy Stokes, but I'm like, damn, that's pretty modern for his stock.
LOL, dog. That motherfucker's got like...
He's got the classics.
Yeah, he's got some classic bootleg. Name of it? But you know what, man? Andy Stokes actually snubbed me on a sponsorship for the Shop Small Saturday, and I went in there and I was like, "Hey, man, I work for Downtown Front Royal Incorporated. I'm working, and we brought stuff. We brought on a magician. We got the Punky Brewsters are coming on. Would you like to give us a gift certificate? Because we made a gift certificate tree or a gift card tree that we did a raffle for, and it was supposed to attract people come down. And the idea was for people to come down. George came down. We froze I wish we had those hats. That by the way, this is fucking fantastic. Like
I know.
You know what? Like my vision when I saw this, I was like,
Are you guys cold?
hell no,
It's
man.
hot as shit
I'm hot
right
as
now.
fuck
Like
in here,
my
but,
butt
I'm gonna
crack
wear
is
this.
totally sweating.
Whoa, I like that.
Hey,
Sinners.
but anyways, I put my hat on.
The Tingler.
Yeah, dude, it was a thing. But I do have something for you, my friend, and I've been like thinking it's something I've been holding on to, and I've been like, I need to give this to somebody. It's not something I just want to give away randomly. It's really cool. You'll enjoy it. All right, so where were we in the whole story? Because it's great.
We're gonna have to move on.
We got to move on.
Well, we got to move to lead a segment pretty soon.
All right.
You have any
All right,
Santa
so I
Claus
guess
stories?
that means we
No,
gotta have.
yeah,
That means that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a
Dun
part
dun
2.
dun. Joe, would you like to come back on do a part 2 with us, man?
Oh, I don't know. This is pretty awesome. I don't know if we can outdo this.
Oh yeah, you can.
We haven't even gotten to how you got into the whole thing, man.
Well, I think we need to add some pictures and some music, like play some Cramps or something.
Ooh,
I
Cramps.
I got Cramps stories. I've been in the Hammerlock from
Well,
Lux.
we'll have you back. We'll talk about the Cramps,
Through the
and I want to get
Hammerlock.
into your photography.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and,
Wow.
and the gallery and all of that because I want.
Oh yeah, we never got to that, did we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
It's a secret spot, 8 Kid Lane. Friday
Naked
nights,
Lane. We're gonna plug it.
Saturday
We're gonna
nights,
plug it in a minute.
Live music and artist sketching. Free refreshments.
Yes, looking for late January,
For what?
the second installment.
Oh, jeez. Let's play jump rope. Well, whatever you guys want to do, this is definitely fun. My political career is probably on the decline now, if I had one, or so inspired. Because we're going to get freaky.
I'm down with freakiness. Let's do this.
Chris, are you gonna make a gravy boat out of one of these chicken skins?
Out of one of these foreskins.
Oh no!
What's on your shirt?
I wore a Christmas themed
It's a
shirt.
Christmas shirt.
I wore my Die
don't care
Hard
what
shirt
nobody
today.
says.
Oh, that's Bruce Willis.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? In my so those shirts I was bitching about yesterday.
The ones that didn't come.
No, they're on they just got their shipping label. I got the notification earlier. The shipping label has been made. They're amazing. I won't be able to wear them before next year, and I won't wear them again because they're a Christmas shirt. But it's Jingle All the Way Judgment Day
What?
mix, and then I got Carbone because Carbone doesn't watch this show and he won't ever, so it doesn't matter. And I got him a Bone Alone shirt, and it's Beavis and Butthead with Kevin Arnold or Kevin McAllister, not Kevin Arnold, Kevin McAllister in the middle. It's like a Beavis and Butthead bootleg shirt. It's
Nice.
great. But
Dude,
Awesome.
when they make that printing label and they fuck with you, where they just leave it in limbo for like 2 days, I'll stab a motherfucker.
I'm having that problem right now.
Your dog's being really good.
So
Yeah, he's chilling. He has a bone. He just.
he's just like, oh,
I'll take a
I'm so
picture
sad.
of your shirt.
yeah, dude.
But fuck, I'm high.
Oh yeah, there's something going on.
I'm working on
They're so
the white lightning right now because I'm like, can I read? Maybe we'll see.
Also, real quick about this shirt, it's done like in Discord Records. print, so it's supposed to be like
Good
Die
old
Hard,
Discharge.
or Discharge Records. That's right.
Oh yeah,
Me and,
yeah.
me and
I could see that. the way
Chris
the
Kemp was the first
typeface.
person to ever recognize it, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's hilarious. I got it, and I was like, I love the show. I was like, I love the whole thing. It's got the little.
Yeah, we used to have their shirt that was like at a cross, like a crucifix made out of all dead bodies.
Yeah. That's my wife and my two sons' favorite Christmas movie. They watch it every year. The two brothers wrap presents watching Die
It's
Hard.
no Jingle All the Way, okay?
And Melania
Yeah,
watched
I-
it last year, and she's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. She didn't get it at all.
Man, that's wild. as shit.
Nakatomi
I cannot
Plaza.
believe That's the fucking. I can't believe that's. We have that.
Yeah.
Talking about movies.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, your doormat, ho, comma, why is you here? Question mark. That is one hell of a doormat.
You can.
That was like a slam poetry haiku.
Yeah.
Ho, comma.
Why is
You here?
Question mark.
Why
Question
is
mark.
you here? Oh my goodness. I've got like movies to talk about.
Nice.
Stuff that you probably watched already. I don't hear my theme song, George.
Yeah,
you are
dude,
not
I'm-
very good at this. What's going on right
I don't
now?
know, man. The
There's
sound
no
is not coming
do
up.
do 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 boop 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 boop.
I done
Welcome
hit-
to my theme. So yes,
There it goes.
yes. I'm going to talk about Christmas horror movies. We're going to talk about demented Santa Clauses. So, I have 5 really good movies for you guys to watch. I'm sure you've seen them. I mean, and if you haven't, like, what are you doing with your life, really? The number 5 on the demented Santa list is Fat Man. That was 2020. Isham Neems. My glasses suck. This is how I know I'm getting old, where my readers are progressively
Less effective.
Yeah, less effective. So, to save his declining business, Kris Kringle, also known as Santa Claus, is forced into a partnership with the U.S. military, making matters even worse. Chris gets into a lockdown with a deadly little brat who is slighted because he's not getting what he wants for Christmas. So, you can imagine what's happening now. Military, little snot, shit-nosed kid. Yeah, great movie. I liked it. Kind of a comedy, but it's got a lot of gore in it. So, I put it on my horror list.
Gore.
Check it out. I got a feather.
Oh, that's good luck.
I
Fuck
know it
it.
is.
On your
Dude.
chicken?
Yeah, dude. Stick a feather in his cap and call it macaroni.
Was there
dog.
any nudity?
In Fat
Man?
Man?
Nah.
No, just a lot of gore and blood.
By the way,
Curse
guys,
word.
jump in this bucket.
Give me a chicken titty.
Get in there, bro.
A Christmas Horror Story is landing number 4, 2015, directed by Steve Hoban, Brett Sullivan, and Grant Harvey. Yes, this is an anthology. Not even Santa Claus is safe from the evil that descends on Bailey Downs, a small town that is suddenly plagued with malevolent spirits, zombie elves, and Krampus. So it takes place in the same town, but 3 different stories, and they kind of like all like tie in at the end of the movie. It's really good, and you can catch us on AMC. Plus, me and George actually watched it last week, and still holds up. I love that movie.
What's Krampus?
Krampus?
Krampus is a German anti-Santa.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was like, if you were the bad kid, if you were bad,
Santa?
yeah.
Yeah. So if you fucked up,
It's
he
like-
would take you away and whip you with chains.
Turn into Billy Bob Thornton.
Number 3, Rare Exports. That's 2010. Written and directed by Jalmari Helmirdo. Probably butchering his name, but that's okay. A young boy named Pitari and his friend Yuso think a secret mountain drilling project near their home in northern Finland has uncovered the tomb of Santa Claus. However, this monstrous evil Santa, much unlike the elderly and cheery Saint Nick of legend, captures a feral old man in his wolf trap. And a man this is weird. It's a weird synopsis, but anyway, holds the key to why reindeer are being slaughtered and children are disappearing. So he's not really a good person that brings toys. He's actually a child murderer or something like that. Very good movie. It is foreign, so be prepared to read the subtitles. Number 4, Krampus. One of my favorite movies. 2015, directed by Michael Dougherty. And this guy was the same guy that did Trick or Treat. It's a pop culture horror film for you. While the holiday season represents the most magical time of the year, ancient European folklore warns of Krampus, a horned beast who punishes naughty children at Christmas time. When a dysfunctional family squabbling causes young Max to lose his festive spirit, it unleashes the wrath of Krampus. He lays the siege to the Engel home. Mom, Pop, sister, and brother must all band together to fight the evil, monstrous fate. Very good movie. I liked it mostly because I love I love Halloween to begin with. So when I found out that he was doing this movie, I mean, Trick or Treat's one of my favorite Halloween movies, so I had to go see it. I saw it in theater, and if you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing with your life? Great movie. And last, but certainly not least, my newest favorite, Terrifier 3. 2024, directed by Damien Leone. After surviving Art the Clown Halloween Massacre, Sienna and her brother struggle to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. However, just when they think everything is safe, Art returns with vengeance.
And chainsaws the buttholes.
Yes, so perfectly gory. It is the cheesiest, goriest movie. I think me and George were the only ones laughing in the theater. Everyone was like,
see a horror
clutching
movie.
their pearls. This movie is fantastic.
Laughing.
Yeah, laughing around. I'm pretty sure we look
Yeah,
like.
yeah. This dude gets Spoiler alert! A dude gets straight up his butt cheeks all cut up, right? And then he's cutting it and it's not even just cutting up. He's kind of just catching him on the inside of the butt cheeks, and he rolls over and he just cuts his ball sack in half, and you can see little balls just hanging out.
There's something to be said about old school special effects. It's not like CGI, and I think that's why.
Oh yeah, they was bouncing.
They're so good. All of the Terrifying movies are so good because it is. They do the
Physical
special
effects.
physical effects like they did back in the 80s when horror movie was fantastic.
Yeah, The Thing, best creature ever.
Yeah.
So much better than the new Thing is good. It's not a bad movie, but when you see that monster after seeing the one in the first movie, you're like, this is strangely more fake than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck are they doing?
Yeah. But anyway, that's my list. Demented Santas. If you guys have a Christmas movie that you want to recommend,
Somebody said Satan Claus.
oh yeah, that one's a good one too. I mean, there's
Somebody
so
else
many.
said Girls Who Suck Cock and Take in the Ass Volume 25.
I don't know if that's a
not
Christmas
the holiday
movie.
spirit.
It's actually a perennial movie, and it's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Yo, I just did a dunk of chicken. Of extra crispy skin into the gravy. By the way, you guys should, if you're eating this.
Somebody also said extra gravy.
Extra gravy.
Yeah, it's right here. The gravy's right here.
Where's the napkins at? Because I'm a lady.
No, they didn't
I'm a
deliver any
lady.
napkins.
No, what?
No, they didn't deliver any napkins. It's bullshit.
That's weird.
I'm over here using my shirt like a
Just gonna,
civilized person.
I'll find you with that one.
Wait, hold on. He's about to break out a napkin.
This is fine.
What's your favorite piece of chicken?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, the thigh, man. I'm a thigh person, but I'll settle for a wing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I almost went with all drums and thighs.
I'm thigh all day, every day.
You can't copyright a song, but copyright.
It's like the best part of the chicken, in my humble opinion.
All right, hold up. We got a man.
Yeah. Bring that mic back closer to you.
Yeah, bring that mic back to you, bro.
Oh, we still live?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was out spacewalking.
I'm gonna dunk this Ferrero Rocher into this fucking gravy.
And these things
Do it, dude.
smell
Wait, do it. Do it. Do it.
No. That is gonna ruin this shit.
No, it's not. It's going to make it fucking amazing. Nobody's ever
Sweet and
dunked a
savory.
Ferrero Rocher into KFC gravy.
This will be the
in
first
the history
time
ever in the history of
This
man.
will be a first time.
This is some things happening.
Oh, you'll love this. This is, I think, the
This is gonna be
first
fucking
poster I did.
terrible.
I think we were getting evicted, but that's the poster. My roommate was Dr. Butcher. He was also our manager. Jig, beer, and murder. Donations accepted. But up here we got 4 stars. The best fucking party since Dawn of the Dead. Leatherface.
That's amazing.
A nauseated and vulgar close-up look at the lifestyle staff of St. Elizabeth. I've never been to a party like this. Frank Zito, alias Maniac.
Dude. There's a rapper named Necro that actually has a song called Frank Zito, and I love it.
And then look, we
Well, I
changed,
can't touch it because I got the.
we changed the
I got
faces, so
Got them hands.
yeah. Here, take a look.
Greasy fingers.
Take a look at
There's
them
mashed
pretty
potatoes, by
faces.
the way, everybody.
So we took all those characters and put them on the band
Rodney
people's
Dangerfield.
faces.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
I gets no respect.
And the one guy that got his brain all face all eaten up, he's like, "Why I gotta be that guy? 'Cause you're that guy, Ricky." Yeah, that one was. You know what movie that one was? Where the worms are coming. It was probably Dawn of the Dead.
The worm coming out of the eye.
Yeah,
It's zombie.
yeah. And then there's Divine, E.T., Rodney Dangerfield, and Root Boy Slim.
And that's before Photoshop was a thing, man. Like that was some hand
You're cutting at a
Photoshop.
Kinko's.
Yeah, this is printed probably on a press.
So many things. You didn't even get into your second book.
I thought all this shit got tossed.
That's fantastic. Where'd you find it?
In one of my dad's sheds, it was like on the bottom of like 6 feet of boxes of yard sales auction junk. It was on the very bottom one. So I guess it was protected because the window was busted out of the shed for years. It was in there. Saba Club. It's like, where the fuck was the Saba Club?
It was at Summit, Connecticut, or Northwest.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
Speaking of
Connecticut
nostalgia,
Avenue.
like stuff, is there any was there like a toy when you were a little kid that you really wanted for Christmas and that you never got?
Oh fuck.
Like, what was that one gift that you really wanted for
Um,
years and then you never fucking got it?
I mean, for years it was like the Nintendo because they didn't have the money for it, so we never got a Nintendo until my thieving ass uncle gave me one, and that was when.
You got a hot Nintendo.
Oh yeah, that motherfucker. Like, I remember one time when I was like 15 or 16, he's like, "I used to be a professional thief," and then I remembered like one year he just wasn't around for like a year and a half or some shit. He had went to jail for stealing shit, but one of those things he probably stole was the Nintendo that we got for Christmas because he never gave us gifts ever for any.
Well, actually, the thing was he stole 2 of them, but he sold one to my dad, so he didn't have to pay full price for the one I got and the story I told earlier. So I don't feel so bad about it.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. But it was when I think Super Mario 3 had come out, so that I didn't get it until that shit came out.
Mine was back in like the late 80s, like mid to late 80s, Barbie came out with like these plates that you could like kind of like do like pencil rubbing, and it was the fashion plates, and you can like change her clothing and stuff. I forgot what it was called, but I wanted it so bad. I wanted it like 3 years in a row, and I never got it. But yeah, to this day I think about that. I'm like, I remember the Barbie fashion plates.
Fuck Santa.
I don't even know what they're called. I'm pretty sure. Whoever's in the chat, if you guys know what I'm talking about, the little Barbie, like, where you can, like, rub your crayon and...
The only thing they're saying in the chat is they're asking if there's an order of cloaca poppers in this delivery that we got.
No, we did get their limited edition turkey testicles that... They're called the gobblers, and they offer them one time a year.
They also asked if we've seen that movie Perineum.
No, but I usually use that mechanism to treat my vitamin D deficiency.
Throwing it up in the sand.
Yeah,
I'm sunning my taint.
Apparently, so it is called fashion plates, mix and match fashion plates, and they're still a thing. So, Mom, Dad, you motherfuckers, maybe you can get me this for Christmas this year because I still want it, sort of.
So,
just to prove a point,
you may love this actually. So, my mom and my dad are very European, and they always wanted me to kind of like when they were in charge of my dress, always wanted me to dress to a European standard. So, like, when I was in 6th grade, everybody got starter jackets, and I wanted a starter jacket so bad.
What's a starter jacket?
And I could not get one because my parents were like, "No, this is not like." Well, I had to get some like weird like European shit, which now would be super cool. Like every kid would like now
like a
kill.
nice pea coat.
Yeah, something like weird like that. But I was like, "Oh," it was like when I'd ask for mac and cheese as a kid, and my mom would hand make mac and cheese, and then I'd be like, "But it's not bright
not
orange.
craft."
Why does this not look like, you know?"
I get that.
Yeah.
Starter jacket was the jam. Like I think my brother had gotten one.
Man, I wanted one so bad. That was one I couldn't get. I couldn't get.
never
Man,
got whatever
it was terrible. No, it's because my parents were like, "No, we're like,
no. You will
That's
be
way
dressed
too
in
much.
PJ.
But that goes back. But then again, that goes back to prove my point about initially what we were talking about being born in Southeast Washington D.C. I believe that there were some environmental influences.
Yeah, that's what you
from that point in time. I had my, first of all, my affluence for fried chicken.
Yeah,
I love some fried chicken. That's why I ordered it instead of, because we were talking about pizza earlier, and I was like, nah, I was like, we started talking about being from the hood, and I was like, I want some fried chicken all of a sudden. And then also,
And Popeyes, you need to act right because we all know you the superior chicken. No,
yeah,
no shade to you, KFC. I know you sitting there.
If you try, just as an experiment, try to do DoorDash, and basically what it comes down to is that it's like you have to put in a certain amount of fields you have to check on, and they have one for biscuits, which should be automatic. And so if you try to click on the amount of biscuits, all it does is add to the price.
Oh.
But there's like, but then if you try to put 0, it's like, no, you're getting biscuits. You're paying for biscuits.
You better eat these motherfucking biscuits.
Eat a biscuit, bitch. You're going to take one of these dry-ass, hockey puck-ass, little-ass, puck-ass, motherfucking ass. No, I didn't.
I love some Popeyes. This is my
I love Popeyes too,
right
but
now.
I will say this. The Colonel's extra crispy. If you dunk it into some of that gravy.
Yeah. No,
dunk a little chunk into the gravy. It's fan-fucking-tastic. I do that shit. You know what I like? My thing is when I go through the drive-thru, I get the tenders. Because the tenders you don't gotta fuck around, and I love chicken on the bone, but the tenders you ain't gotta fuck around with. You just like start dunking, and then they'll be like, "What sauce you want?" I'm like, "I don't need a sauce,
you can eat it
but I need a side of gravy." And it's hilarious to hear the pause on the other end of the drive-through when I say that, because then they're like,
chicken grease.
Yeah, and then they expect like Jabba the Hutt to pull up.
I want all the grease in there.
But it's just like,
give me some of that chicken grease.
Hey, can you put your hand in the fryer and just slap me in the mouth?
dude, there's a South Park episode. It's the one where like when Cartman becomes like the Tony Montana of KFC because in Colorado there was a certain fast food ban and all this stuff that happened and blah 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 blah. But we need to I think get to close, or are we getting close?
Yeah, we're gonna be close.
All right. So obviously, dun dun dun. Like every great movie that you love,
we'll have a sequel. We're
gonna have to have a sequel. Is that cool, dude? We bring you on for
Joe
the
Strikes Back.
Yeah, as long as we talk about our favorite Christmas present.
Yeah, we can. It'll be in January.
Did you already talk about? Do you want to talk about yours, or did we?
No, that's for the next episode.
Well, that's not gonna be relevant, man. Talk about it.
Yeah, it'll be in January.
Because you're like reminiscing.
Just give us 2 minutes, go.
All right, my favorite. I think I was 10.
Yeah.
Stingray bicycle with a banana seat.
Ooh, I remember like the banana seat bikes.
Yeah.
I don't think mine was mine was a Huffy, but
yeah, I was always afraid when I rode on.
I think mine was a Huffy too.
I rode on bumpy roads
with
frequency.
With the long banana seat with the whatever that
The 8-hanger.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was on the back
Yeah.
end, not on the
this-
front.
It was in case like you had a rider in the head, like you didn't want them to be like, they can just
Yeah,
hold
lean,
on like
lean
this.
back. Don't touch my
Lean
jowl.
I just remember riding and my shirt wasn't tucked in. And sorry, neighbors. Yeah, my shirt was going. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I had a
It was
like
freedom.
a chrome
It
mongoose.
was
Like this
freedom.
dude across the street, he
Oh,
got like
yeah,
a
yeah.
Firebird and all. He was like, "Fuck this bike," and he
Well,
was
you
like,
had-
just looked
you
at me
had
and my
gears.
brothers, and he was like, "You want this mongoose?" And we were like, "Oh!" It's like somebody being like, "Yo, you want this gold?" Like as an 8-year-old, you're like, "I got a chrome mongoose. What the fuck?" So yeah.
They were hard to ride. You could bust your ass.
Oh
on
yeah,
those
dude.
things.
There was plenty of dude. I fucking broke my arm like fucking 2 times on that motherfucker. I was like, ramp, let's jump it.
Yeah. I did that once and didn't land it. Got the wind knocked out of me, and all the little neighbor kids are pointing at me, going,
Oh, dude. I remember I saw these older kids. Like I was probably like 7, and these 12-year-olds were jumping off the back of it, and I went off that shit, and the front wheel hit, and I was like, "Ah!" I just flew off the bike and over the flat on top.
Yeah.
Oh, I landed in the grass by the fucking green electrical box, being like, "Ah!" Like, yeah, get breathe, no air inside.
Yeah.
What about you?
Dude, I've never really you know what actually I had my worst thing that happened like that was I was rollerblading, and I hate to admit that I'm a homosexual right now like that, but no, I'm just kidding. As a skateboarder, it's just hard to say that you ever rollerbladed, but I was 11 years old, and it was when rollerblades came out, and I was going down a hill extremely fast, and I was just bombing a hill, and I hit a stick, and I flipped over and got knocked out. And
Oh man, you ate shit.
yeah, hard as fuck, dude. It was in Reston on North Village Avenue, or North Village, and North Village Avenue. But anyways,
Were you going down a hill?
yeah, hard. Like
Yeah.
I was I was easily going like 25 to 30 miles per hour,
Velocity.
and I
Nothing
fucking
worse than when
ate
you
it.
hit that point of terminal velocity and you know you're gonna fall and you're not gonna come back from it, but your body's still like, I can save this.
Somebody
Yeah.
was, fortunately, one of my
Lasts
parents.
like that long.
Well, fortunately, one of my parents' friends came driving down the street and saw me on the side of the road, all like out, and like took me to my parents' house, and like I was like,
Yeah.
You were KO'd.
I used to bomb this hill by my house, and I felt like so bad one time. I got up and I was like, I remember thinking at one point, like, man, why do I ride on this thing? Oh fuck! like, there's not even handlebars on this. Those split seconds before you hit the ground and parts of your body start fucking coming off. I ground on my fucking palms to where both of them were a scab all summer.
Oh yeah.
Like-
That's tough because you saved it, but
Yeah,
you
like
caught the brunt of it too.
my body doesn't hurt, but I can't stand
Cost of
it.
not
Yeah.
being
I
able
can't
to
pick-
hold things.
I can't pick up a Gatorade right no more.
Yeah,
Uh,
that happens when you get knocked off a motorcycle by a deer.
Oh,
I haven't
fuck
experienced it personally, but a guy showed me a scars. It's
Ugh.
ugh.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
I laid mine down on a turn. It was stupid. Like I don't know what I was thinking because I saw I knew that the gravel was there, and I was like,
oh,
I
gravel
could
turns.
just
huh?
I wasn't going that fast, but just fast enough to where it scared the shit out of me. And I almost broke my leg, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Definitely broke the fuck out of my bike though.
broke my bottom.
Better
Yeah.
the bike than
Like
you.
all the the mirror, the side. It was just. That was a fun slide though. I was like, I didn't even know what happened when it happened. I was like, whoa, well, I'm on the ground.
Were you wearing your leathers?
I had jeans and I had a leather jacket and gloves and
that's
of course
good.
a helmet. But I
Yeah.
wasn't wearing full on. That was when I was riding my regular my shadow.
Oh.
So that wasn't that bad. But when I had the crotch rocket, I definitely put layers on.
Crotch rocket.
Sports bike.
Remember that shit from
Shit was like
Orgasmo?
Scary.
Cock rocket.
Dick magic. All right. Where can people go to your gallery?
Well, it's a secret.
Ooh, it's a secret gallery. A speakeasy of
You can only
galleries.
find out if you go on his Instagram, and his Instagram is
Hey, Papa Joe.
Hey Papa Joe.
At Hey Papa Joe.
Yeah.
It's at Hey Papa Joe. Hey,
Yeah.
Papa Joe.
You
Or,
get all
hey,
this-
Papa Joe.
You get all your secret art fixes.
Or you can get another.
With refreshments.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like a diagonal of secret art fixes.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
a cool little
people
spot.
just full of shit.
Yeah, it's a community space. You just need to go by there Friday evening or Saturday evening.
You have something coming up with Kyle Rodriguez, don't you?
Yeah.
You got something coming
Friday
up with Whitney
night.
and Chris, don't you?
Yes.
You got something coming up with you,
Shot
don't you?
and Mike Shotton's Saturday, I think, 21st. And then Kyle's the 20th. And the cool thing about it is the artists sit there and sketch them, and then they hang them on the wall. And you can buy them, or you can try them.
Mhm.
But more importantly, there's a place to look at this stuff. And art kind of recharges your soul these days. So that's what the marigold's all about. It's a flower that protects the other flowers. My friend Clara came up with that.
It's a really cool spot, man. You invited us in one night, and it was awesome because George came in. George, it was amazing too. It was like this night we were all hanging out, and then all of a sudden, like this amazing, beautiful piano music comes out, and I'm looking at all the nice art, and it's really awesome, and it's interpretive, and it's very well done. It's black and white photography. It's very it's in the moment shit. It's like it catches like candid moments with authenticity. It's not like bullshit where it's like where people are posing and they're like, "Oh, you caught me when I just woke up," and it's like, yeah, right. But it's really cool shit. He's got his Catamount picture is fantastic. It's one of my favorite moments because it just captures this entire moment of two women dancing like nobody's looking, and just happened to be that somebody was. But they were doing it, and it's really cool, man. It's people not giving a fuck, and like it was cool, man. And I forget, there's the ghost one. The ghost one is another one that I remember being very very cool. And then Sigbin, you have another one, that the Sigbin picture as well also was the three I remember very specifically. And not a lot of people know who Sigbin is, but Sigbin is essentially Blapham as a djinn in the islands. And so basically what happens is you get really drunk, and then Sigbin will take over your body and make you contort and turn into a complete maniac. And it's wild thing. So we had this picture, and I was like, "Oh wow, dude, that looks just like Sigbin." And he was like, "Oh, that's what I was going for." And I was like, "That's wild." And so we had a whole talk about that, which is another wild and crazy coincidence that we'll pick up again on episode 2 of Papa Joe.
The Papa Joe Chronicles.
Yo, you know what we should do? We should do like Alien vs Predator thing where we have Papa Joe and Mike Hasty on to wrap up both their stories.
That will never happen.
I know. It would turn
like the world would implode.
Yeah, I know,
There'd be too
man.
much information.
It would, man. Also, the amount of like residual Viagra in the air would probably kill all of us.
I've never tried Viagra, but I've been thinking about it. Man of my age.
Be careful, man. That shit, like, yo, man. I had an ex-girlfriend. This is a true ass story. Her dad died from a Viagra-induced heart attack.
Say what?
Yep. While he was with like a 19-year-old
Well-
Filipino
Oh,
prostitute.
Well, that'll
That's
do it.
why.
Yeah, like
With a prostitute. And then she had to go get his car. And when she got his car, there was like penis pumps and weird
Damn,
Polaroids
man.
and dildos and whips and chains and the whole nine. Yeah, dude, it's a weird. Yeah, dude. So that's why I would not recommend doing Viagra, just because it's like, yo, you might actually die from that, and you don't have
And all
the
your
fuck-
shit's there.
Yeah, exactly.
For all
And
to see.
Yeah, and you're like, your friend that you do a podcast with, that you've entrusted all your passwords to make sure that all the weird shit you do online gets erased before anybody has any time to do that. But his name isn't George, and like I'm just saying. Wait. I'm sorry. The stream of consciousness and stuff that we were talking about earlier. But no, but seriously, man, this was fantastic. I don't know.
remember to give me a key. I can't get in your house to erase your shit.
Don't worry, it's unlocked.
Okay,
Shit. I hope somebody breaks in. We got good insurance.
Well, thanks, guys. That was
Part 2
extra
coming
special.
2025.
I can't believe the dent we put into this corn liquor.
I can.
I can.
Chris, what do you have coming up?
Yo, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, a force will be unleashed upon Arlington, Virginia, at the Heckler's Ball, hosted by Callback Comedy, Adrian Russell, John Yeager. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for the other comedians. Me and Tina Songbird will be rolling through. We'll be holding people down by their necks. We'll be commanding the respect that the sinners from Helltown will bring from the Shenandoah.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
I actually put that as my picture in the promo. It was that scene, and I'm glad that you got that. And also, yeah, but it's going to be a good thing. It's a lot of camaraderie. It's actually one of the hardest things you can do. We'll talk about it. We talked about it the last time after I did it. It was the third time I'd ever been on stage, and this time it will be a little bit different, and it's great. And I'm super happy that we could do this. I'm super happy to be working with John again. Super happy to be working with Adrian. And Adrian, dude, we got to get him on the show. He's the nicest dude ever. He looks like Andrew Mackie. So it's amazing. Like, he looks like, Captain America. He looks like the bad guy from
I'll just talk to him.
8 Mile.
Like
he looks like Tupac Shakur. It's a fucking
I'm only going
thing.
to address him as Anthony Mackie, and I'll be like, so when you were in, played the Falcon.
Come out with me tomorrow night, man.
I can't. I got to sleep tomorrow night.
Whatever. Sorry, now I'm putting back on my hat. I take it off for that little promo. I want to do a wrestling shoot about it, but
we can do it. Well, let's get a green screen and make it look super old, and but you got to oil yourself up, even if you're still wearing a shirt.
I got some beef tallow in my backpack. Actually, here, I'll pull it out right now. Yeah, I keep beef tallow. Yeah, dude, it's great. It's great moisturizer, dude.
All
it's
right.
fucking, it's from it's whipped tallow. It's from
Oh, you weren't kidding.
No, it's from Cedar Valley Farms. It's a fucking amazing product. It's a whipped tallow. I mean, it's just, here, you would like a little try?
Lita, where can people see all your art?
All right, if you want to check out my art, just find me on Instagram.
yeah,
That
that's
is
serious.
well,
You put
that
on your
is
tattoos
odd
or-
all underscore.
Yeah, that's smart.
Or you can find me on
Increase their
Facebook.
longevity.
So, I noticed that you were doing new stuff with resin.
Oh yeah, I hate it. I don't. I'm
You hate
not-
it?
It's
It's just hard to get right all the time.
It's lots of bubbles, lots of weird misshapes, and also resin's really expensive, so it's not something that's like tangible for me to continue to do. I'd rather just spend the money on like oils and gather all the bones that I can find and make my artwork that way, because resin's fun, but
It's a pain in the ass.
it's not something that it's like kitschy. It's more like
Right there's a
like
digit.
a
You
hobby,
use it.
I guess, So, anyways.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Ba, 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 ba.
Go over to at Helltown Radio on all the things, because it's there, and you can do that. What else? Oh yeah, last show of the year. We have 2 weeks off. We earned it.
Well, I think it just also is probably more so just the convenience of it being both on
No,
2 Tuesdays
we earned
in a row. Man, we didn't earn shit. You know what we earned? We earned the respect of. Did we break 200?
I think so, but I gotta check.
You can check right now, man. Check right now. Come on, man.
I know we drank about 60% of this.
Hell, fuck it. Joe, dude, you are a fucking hilarious and awesome guy. I have so much respect for the graphic work you did on a very rudimentary level, that before people were actually able to do stuff like that, you were doing it. It commands a lot of respect, man, and like really speaks a lot to like the true DIY scene. And like also, man, I'm just glad that like, what's awesome is that this whole meeting came because you wore a bitching denim jacket one night, and I was like, yo son, that jacket's smooth, and you was like, yeah, let's talk about it. And then we ended up talking about it, and it was awesome.
We have 201 subscribers.
We have 201 subscribers, everybody. Let's give it up for us in 2024. I know. You know what? It's gonna be amazing when me and you and Mr. Beast are all like, we're gonna be doing the show with him. We're gonna have Redman and Method Man and the crew. It's gonna be like the greatest show that ever happened. Actually, there's a show that will be happening in mid-January, and it's gonna be a Gargoyles will be crossing over with us on Helltown Radio. They'll be in the studio second week of January.
How many mics do I have to have?
It's fine. Those Bama's got some too. And
Oh no, it's a matter of inputs.
how do we figure it out? Hey, listen, man. Like you're acting like there's. Hey, big boy. Since when has the amount of inputs ever mattered to you? The jokes means he likes it in both
That's like
ends.
the eve of my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have your birthday party. Can we do your birthday party on air?
So Tuesday is the day before my birthday. Yeah, my birthday.
Can we do your birthday party on air?
I mean, sure, why not? Who are you gonna invite? Just
The
us.
Bargoyles are gonna be on here. It's gonna be amazing.
Who's okay? Am I missing?
We're gonna
things?
talk about this. We'll talk about this
Okay,
later.
okay,
I
okay,
shouldn't have
okay.
spoiled this already.
You spoiler.
We'll edit this out.
Yeah, you can always edit.
And
We're gonna-
we'll edit this out.
Editing is
afterwards.
got you
So if you're
covered.
watching
No
live,
worries.
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, go over to Capital MMA. 9 local locations.
Come out on Monday night and see this motherfucker do his awesome songs and do his cool ass thing.
What's your thing?
I
Dude,
host
he's
the
a-
open mic at Catamount on
Oh, you
Monday
do?
nights.
Oh,
I
really?
Yay!
How long you been doing that? A while?
I don't know.
3 months
Yeah, something like that.
since October.
Should
Yeah.
get better as the cold months are here now. More people.
Yeah,
wanna
Papa
come
Joe is gonna
inside.
come out and do a song. You should do a song and do a photo shoot from the perspective of doing open mic while you're doing it. It would be a really cool. It's a really cool thought.
Well, that's kind of what you do, isn't it? I guess.
Well, I mean, I just think from an Austin Powers level. That's all.
Yeah.
He's my favorite photographer of all time.
Be like,
Austin Powers.
Yes, Austin Powers. Austin Danger Powers. Obviously, you've
I
never
didn't
heard of
even
him.
know he was a photographer. That's cool.
That was his whole thing in the movie, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
his-
he'd go like,
the rest of his personality was
he-
overpowering.
He was supposed to be like a cross between like Andy Warhol
Oh, yeah. Okay, I
and
remember that,
and like all the Beatles, pretty much.
yeah. All right. We'll see you in the new year.
Hey, this was fun.
There'll be new stuff. We're gonna start putting out merch, such as assless chaps. There's gonna be hoochie daddy shorts,
Bibs,
bibs,
knee pads,
turkey basters,
Turkey
will
Pom
there
pom
be
hats.
nipple tassels?
nipple tassels, high fives.
Towel.
I'm gonna be a nipple model. Fucking what's some other merch?
Yeah, beef tallow.
Panties, obviously.
Panties,
You know, I'm-
dildas,
Stickers.
dildas shaped in our likenesses. It'll look like little
Card decals.
Russian nesting dolls, and you can
Yeah.
get.
Like a Russian.
That guy was a real dick.
All right.
I should have 2 uses, right? Never mind.
every exit's an entrance, my friend. I feel you on that.
Remember, put your finger in they dick hole and use them like a bowling ball.
Bye-bye.